sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They have been your hometown buyer for the last 49 years. Every gold and silver buyer claims to pay the highest prices, but the Potting Shed Antiques have been around for so long because they pay a fair and honest price. Let Don and Nancy take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. Open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Learn more online at thepottingshedantiques.com.
I can't take this kitchen any longer. Carl, we need to start looking for a new house.
Honey, you know the housing market is tight. It's going to be next to impossible to find something that we like.
I know, but this kitchen has to go.
Hey, what about a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank? We can turn the equity from our home into cash to renovate, just the way you want.
Renovate?
Adirondack Bank has competitive rates, and they've been a trusted community bank for decades.
A new kitchen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the deck, even add a pool, and take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about.
Whoa, slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank about that home equity loan. Then we can decide where to start.
I've always wanted to add on a craft room, and our bathroom needs a facelift.
Don't move. Improve. Stop into your local Adirondack Bank branch for more information on a home equity loan or visit AdirondackBank.com. Bank local with Adirondack Bank, your hometown community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It's time to start the program. It's time to earn our pay. It's time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Okay, and a beautiful cold start. I don't want to make too much out of it because it's really not bad out. But, Jeff, it is a different feel, right? It's the feel of wintertime.
If I'm not mistaken, and I'm only off by a day if I am, I think the overnight low Thursday to Friday was 51.
Yeah.
Or our high today is 41.
Yeah, and the whole week and the right up to Thanksgiving, hard to believe. We're talking about Thanksgiving. The whole week heading up there is where we are currently at. All right, listen, I just got to say, we received a surprise guest at the studio door.
Yes.
This morning, and it turns out to be Bob Cardillo.
Long time no see.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a few days, isn't it?
Now, I'm gonna warn you in advance.
What's that?
Don't bring up the Giants.
No,
Don't bring up the Giants, okay? We're going to talk about the Bills.
No, okay.
Listen,
we don't want to jinx them. They're doing well.
I am quite happy for the Giants and for Andrews Packers and all of that. But, man, the Bills just unraveled yesterday, and we'll talk a little bit about it. So you're here. I'm assuming it has to do with something to do with our last interview here on Friday.
Well, yeah, I kind of got off on the wrong foot. So my grandmother said, always never go anywhere empty-handed. So I came in this morning and I wanted to say good morning and say hello and brought a little something.
And by the way, this was completely unexpected. I was shocked to see you walk through the door. You're wearing a Giants sweatshirt.
Go Rob.
Yes.
Okay, so for those who don't know, we ended up getting into it a little bit on Friday, and I almost would rather not even get into it if you're okay with that. However,
absolutely.
However, I do have to say that There were some comments that were made over the weekend, so we actually have something that we can talk about that had gotten back to us. That you feel that this was an ambush on Friday, and that it was a Hobeika-induced ambush, that it was a setup. And I want to go to Manaski here because we had a conversation about you coming on, and there's a lot going on with the school board. There's a lot of things that are happening out there. And my feeling was that this was your debut. This was your launch of your campaign. And that it was not a place for us to get into heavy issues or anything like that, that this was your chance, which is why I led off by saying, give me you talk about your accomplishments, because I am impressed with your accomplishments. And even went further to remind you that you also worked for Bush, if you go back and watch the interview. There are a couple things here. The comment that was made about another radio station, which... Okay. That comment, you have to talk to Manaski to understand, as he watched, and you can go back on the video, almost as if you're watching the head of a thermometer. But it was the head of me. It began getting...
It got a little redder.
It got red. It got redder. And it had... In fact, Joe Hobeika had no clue you were coming on the radio. And the other part of this is you feel that you were a bit snubbed. I could tell by the way you were trying to hand us the press release with the press conference. And I want to just give you a little peek behind the curtain. And Jeff can attest to this as well. We have no one to cover anything right now because we're 2 people down.
Oh, I understand.
And it's me and Jeff and Davey, and that's it right
Pay
now.
no attention to the bald man behind the glass over there.
Because there's no one to cover these.
I understand.
So we're in the process of hiring, but like everybody else in America,
try to find somebody.
We're short on staff.
Absolutely.
So I want you to know that none of this was intended by any means. Had no clue that this was going to go the way it went on Friday, and I want you to know that Joe Hobeika had nothing, zero, to do with any.
In fairness, I did ask if we could get into school board stuff, and you didn't think it was appropriate, and you asked me to hold off. So.
Oh, I appreciate it. No, that's okay.
Now, I did end up getting into the school board stuff, but
I understand.
but I was pissed.
I know. I could tell you're kidding. You were real. You were. I would not have known that you were upset. I would not have known that.
So
anyway,
with all of that said, I would like to. I mean, this is going to be a long campaign.
Sure is.
I mean, you're starting. We haven't figured out who's taking control of the House yet. So you're starting early, and it's a long campaign. And I certainly don't want it to be one where you feel that you can't walk into these studios and get a fair shake.
No, I understand.
And I give you my word on that.
Look,
I'm not telling you I'm not going to ask tough questions.
No. Look, by the way, you did start getting into the school board, and I didn't. I answered them.
You did, and
I understand.
I think it's very interesting and to me, it's probably a story I'm going to run with today. The fact that it wasn't initially calibrated to get to pick up knives. I mean, I think that's a pretty big story on its own. So. I've done all the talking. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to come by this morning and say good morning. I get up at 4:00. That's one thing the taxpayers can be happy about. I get up very early.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to have to put a cot in there or something because you know me. I'm a worker.
I'm sure Ed Hanna had a cot somewhere in that building.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did. So, no, I just wanted to come in this morning and say hello and.
All right.
And, tell you that, I don't have any hard feeling, and I hope you don't. And I really appreciate your comments, and we go forward. So, you and I have known each other a long time.
We have.
I mean,
I worked with you on
my campaign
last
11 years
campaign.
ago.
Yeah.
So, and I think, some things have changed over the last 11 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to put our best foot forward and talk about issues. That's really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about bringing the city, moving it forward, working cooperatively with the county, working cooperatively with other layers of government. And I think that's how we're going to continue to keep things moving.
And don't you feel that is what the public is looking for?
Absolutely.
I mean, the days of the Common Council meetings being like a WWF, WWE event, I think people they don't want to go back to that.
No, they don't. Don't. And I do believe, I think that the mayor of the city of Utica and the county executive have to have a very close working relationship.
Yeah.
Look,
it doesn't seem to be there right now.
Well, no, it doesn't, and that doesn't bode well. And I may be a little prejudiced. I think the county executive has done a really good job.
Yeah.
And I'm not criticizing the mayor because, as I said, I want to continue the rebirth, and he's in the chair, so he is partially responsible for the rebirth. But I think that these folks need to work together.
Yeah.
And you can't be at odds with each other, especially you've got the projects that are there are not just city projects.
Right.
They're community projects. Mm-hmm. They're regional projects. You know, and I know you live in Herkimer County. I mention Herkimer County because I could throw a stone to Herkimer County from my house. So I think we all need to work together, and that's how we're going to get things done.
I agree, and I think what's going on in Herkimer County right now is enormous. Mm-hmm. What's happening in Oneida County is enormous and only growing more. I think that the chip plant that is going in Syracuse is going to mean a lot to the entire region, this corridor.
Sure it does.
It's amazing to look at the transformation downtown and in the region over the we kind of feel like we're moving somewhere for the first time.
Oh, I think we are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, you mentioned Herkimer County. When I was the regional director for Empire State Development, I thought that pumpkin patch was one of the greatest pieces of land around, and it took a little while, but
and look at
you
it.
can see it's got great opportunity, and that corridor on 5S is perfect.
Yeah.
It leads to Utica. I would bet, I mean, I haven't done a survey, but I would bet a significant portion of the employees that are working at that pumpkin patch are Utica residents.
Could very well be.
And,
yeah.
I mean, it
and
makes
it's an
sense.
easy trip.
access, absolutely.
And there's so much more that's happened since then. So I do think that there are things going on, and if we could all just work together, I agree. I think we'd be heading in a pretty darn good place.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
All right, Bob Cardillo, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for breakfast.
You did not have to do this. And by the way, for those out there who are thinking, Bill and Bob planned this morning, you shocked the daylights out of me when I saw you walk through the door.
Yeah, and I was hoping they'd answer the door because it's cold.
It is cold out there. So, all right.
Hey, guys, have a
Be
great
on
day.
your way.
Right?
Thank you so much.
God bless everybody.
Coming up, we'll talk about the news from over the weekend. Gallagher passing away. There's a story up on our website that is my story of Gallagher and his 2 months plus. I mean, he came for our toy drive. Supposed to be an overnight show, and then he'd fly back to California, and he stayed for 2 months. And I said that it was almost like it was Keeler in the morning with Gallagher, which was really entertaining until it wasn't.
Correct.
Yeah, it just got old. And the day we told Gallagher, well, I don't think the station's going to cover your hotel anymore, he was gone the next day.
Look, we could tell a lot of well, we'll get into it. But I just want to say, funny guy, great guy, appreciate him coming up here. And as a matter of fact, Andrea Heath from the Utica Zoo reached out to me, sending me some photos that I had originally taken several years ago of her and Gallagher, touring the zoo.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all great, and it did go south quickly, but there were some good moments in there.
There were some unbelievable moments in there. There's no doubt about it. We'll talk about that. If you get a chance to read the story, it's a little bit in-depth. I started writing and couldn't stop, and there's so much that I left out. But it's almost one of the first chapters in my upcoming book that I hadn't started until I wrote this piece on Gallagher. There are some incredible stories in there that we all experienced right here, and that a couple of local families experienced as well. That's included in the story, and one that went south very quickly. Stand by. We'll come right back. A cold start to the day, 628 at WIBX.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton. Here at Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we take the term planning seriously. Estate planning is meant to take the stress out of life's uncertainties, such as illness, disability, and death. Traditional planning is critically important, but some situations require special consideration. For instance, if you're a parent with young children, in a blended family, or in an unmarried relationship, you face unique legal challenges. At Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we can help navigate those challenges. And while planning ahead is very important, if you have a loved one that's currently in a nursing home or extended care facility, it's not too late to act to protect assets against those expenses. Call us today to find out how to use strategies to protect your assets. My team and I can help you sort through any of these legal issues. I'm Rob Hilton, inviting you to call Hilton Estate and Elder Law for a free consultation.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
Business is online. Town Square Interactive can help. Town Square Interactive can help you find more customers online and help you grow your business. The best part? It's fast, easy, and there are no contracts. If you want to find out more, just visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Okay, when I say it's a cold start, I don't know. Davey, did you have any snow? You tend to get snow when we don't. Did you have any snow this morning?
No snow.
Yeah, we didn't either. I mean, I got a little bit on my windshield. It's kind of iced and snowed, and it did snow a little bit last night. But
it did, yeah.
Nothing of significance whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So maybe if you have some, you want to let us know, we'd love to know. 315-736-0186. All right, Ryan Schmelz is on the line right now, and I don't know if you've been keeping an eye on it over the weekend, but the Democrats have retained control of the Senate. No matter what happens in Georgia, because the vice president would serve as the tiebreaker if the Democrats were to lose that race. And it's even close in the House. This is really quite the shocker, although Republicans are on the road to most likely taking control of the House. And let me go to Ryan Schmelz with an update here this morning. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
So what do we know after the weekend?
Well, this was a tough weekend for Republicans, right? As you just mentioned, Democrats look to be taking back control of the Senate despite what happened in Georgia. And that's because Adam Laxalt, the Republican nominee in Nevada, did in fact lose to incumbent Catherine Cortez Masto, which is a huge hold for Democrats, because this looks like the race that Republicans had the best chance of flipping if you just go off the polling data. And ultimately, Laxalt came up short. And now, Georgia's still going to be key. I think either party will tell you that it's definitely a race that they want to win. But no matter what happens in Georgia, the Republicans are not going to be able to have control of the Senate now.
I got to say, what a shocking outcome from and difference from Monday of last week to today. The polling seems to have been completely wrong.
Again.
Right. Well, and it's interesting you say that because, the last two election cycles, it was the Republicans who greatly outperformed much of the polling data, where this time it looks like it was the Democrats. Now, keep in mind, a lot of these races were considered toss-ups, so they could have gone either way. But there are a couple examples where this is just, a very tough loss for Republicans. I think one example would be there was a district in Washington, which was one of the districts that was held by one of the incumbent Republican was one of the people who voted to impeach former President Trump. That incumbent ended up losing her primary, and then the candidate who won the primary ultimately ended up losing the general election, even though it was considered to be a seat that Republicans were supposed to win. So there have just been a lot of examples like that out there where that's why Republicans are still sitting here not knowing if they control the House or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you take 1 + 3, and then you carry the Trump, and you lose the election. Is what happens.
And that's the other part of this. The other elephant in the room, or maybe the elephant in the room, is President Trump. And Republicans, for the first time, some Republicans walking away saying enough is enough. Let's move on as a party. Yet, Elise Stefanik, who represents part of our district here in this region, coming out and endorsing him as the nominee.
Right, and then you also have one of our colleagues, Paul Steinhauser, saying that one of the candidates for GOP whip, Jim Banks, plans to endorse Trump after he announces his run for the White House once again. So you are seeing some Republicans start to back the former president, but you're also seeing a good number of Republicans start to question whether or not Trump should be the candidate in 2024. And you've already had some come out and say that they're not going to support him. The lieutenant governor of Virginia is a good example of that. So, yes, there have been a lot of rumblings that we're hearing in D.C. just of people questioning who the leadership should be for the Republican Party moving forward. And so you're going to start to see those talks really start to pick up, I think, over the next few weeks.
I don't want to tell you that I had any insight on this because I called for the Bills to win by a blowout yesterday. But I really felt like this was going to be closer than we all expected it. And one of those key issues is President Trump. The problem that he has is that he is, believe me, he is a polarizing figure in the Republican Party, but he's also a polarizing figure for independents and Democrats. And that is part of the problem.
Yes, and you saw that be one of the key issues out there, and you kind of saw the lack of performance Republicans had when it came to to independents, as well as even some Democrats who may have been turned off by the party's current agenda or the current direction of the company, but you still had a lot of those people going in and voting for different Democratic candidates because they may have been turned off by the loyalty from the Republican candidate towards Trump. But then you also have to keep in mind there were issues like abortion that were standing out there, and there were also issues like democracy. That's been one, and that kind of ties with President Trump too. So let's keep that in mind too. But you saw those issues kind of being the second or the third biggest option to people behind inflation, and it looks like those issues ended up being a lot bigger deals than what may have been polled.
And Ryan, I'm surprised you didn't lead off this whole thing by talking about Republican stronghold New York.
Yeah, right.
I mean, who would have thunk? Who'd have thunk it in upstate New York? And by the way, a lot of it, many believe Lee Zeldin led the way. He just came up short, but really allowed for people like our own 22nd congressional district, Brandon Williams, to walk away a winner. Although that race is not completely finished, it looks like he's going to win, though.
Yeah, no, if Brandon Williams is able to hold on, that's going to kind of be the cherry on top for the success Republicans had in New York. And when you think about it, New York, those are races where these candidates kind of really just ran issues-based campaigns. They focused a lot on crime and they focused a lot on the economy and specifically inflation. And yes, I mean, I've kind of been saying this joke, the Republican Party needs to be buying all these representatives in New York beer for the rest of their lives, because this was the big victory that Republicans had, was having success in the, normally blue state of New York. And a lot of these districts were districts that Joe Biden won by a substantial margin in 2020. So New York is definitely what you could probably say the big victory for Republicans on Election Day.
Well, there's at least two seats that no one expected they would have, and they came from New York. So interesting. All right, Ryan, thank you so much. Ryan Schmelz from Fox News. Thanks.
Hey, thank you.
Have a great day.
You talk about the polling, and I know there was some polling specific to individual districts that didn't pan out to be accurate. But I thought, I don't know her name, but one of the guests on Meet the Press raised an issue yesterday, and I thought it was accurate because it's been true as long as, tale as old as time type thing. People will say, I'm not happy with Congress, or I don't like this about the president, but my representative's a good guy. And he...
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Or a good gal, excuse me.
Yeah, I hate Congress, but I like my congressman.
Right. So, and I think that was
part
of it as well. There was a lot of, you kept seeing polling numbers that Biden's approval rating was like, 40, like the temperature is 41, 43, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Very low. But then when you talk about, okay, do I want to replace my representative with somebody new? Obviously, most of them did not.
There is so we'll get to a couple of other things. Beyond football, beyond politics, let's talk meat. You know that we go through this week, and then it's Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving is a week from Thursday. Yeah. So people are out. I just want to say Hannaford this week had a huge sale on turkey. Like, the price is so good on turkey that they limited only two. You could only get 2 turkeys. People are going in and stocking up on their turkeys. Where do you put turkeys? That's the problem. It's like, I don't know. I stocked up on meat. I don't think I can fit a turkey in my freezer.
Yeah, if this was the Monday before Thanksgiving, but we're 2 Mondays before.
Right, right.
So the other thing is, too, though, when you say a great price on turkey, What is that? It's 150% more than it was last year?
I don't think so. I think the price is really good. I
thought it was going to be double this year.
It's supposed to be, but there's a sale this weekend. I don't know.
Well, hey.
But to be honest with you, I don't know what turkey cost.
Right.
It's not something that I normally buy, so I don't know what it costs. But speaking of meat, and this is deli meat, a food poisoning outbreak tied to deli meat and cheese has sickened 16 people. One has died from this.
Oh, my gosh.
Most were hospitalized, and one illness resulted in the loss of a pregnancy, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The illness dated back to April of last year, with the most recent report on September 29th. Many reported eating meat or cheese from deli counters, where investigators detected listeria in open packages of sliced meat and in the environment. The bacteria was found at 2 net cost market locations in New York, but health officials said that's not likely the only source of the outbreak. Those sickened were from New York, Maryland, Massachusetts, Illinois, Jersey, and California. 11 of those who fell ill are of Eastern European background or speak Russian, and investigators are trying to figure out why.
Well, maybe
it might be the type of meat that they prefer. I don't know they don't know.
Right. It could be that. It could be also that one particular shop is in a neighborhood that
is heavily you're
ethnic
right. The
in
place,
one way or another.
Right. So sometimes when these statistics come out, you got to be really cautious. They may lead you in one direction, and it turns out to be just coincidental more so than not.
I've never heard, though, in all the recall stories we've ever done, I'm not knocking you, I've never heard them have a stat on the what's the word I want to use?
Ethnicity.
Of those who were ill. I've never heard that.
Michael this morning, Gallagher was like a hurricane. You were a lot more thankful that you were on the outside of it than in the middle of it.
That's true.
Boy, that is true. But, man, on the outside looking in was something. Right?
Yeah. It was funny because Smitty did some transporting of Gallagher, and I did some as well. But that whole analogy, it was kind of like, all right, here's Gallagher. Have fun. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Right. It'd be like, hey, Bill Gallagher's here. He's in the studio, and he's waiting for you. I'll see you later. That's exactly what. So I'm like, really, I got to deal with Gallagher? So, if you don't know, this was 2014. Gallagher came for a Toys for Tots event to perform. This was the Radisson New. This is another part that I didn't include in my story, which is up on our website. It's a bit of a long read, but it's worth going through to see what we went through and what almost a little peek into the mind of Gallagher. For 2 months, he lived here. 2 months, we put him up. 2014, he came for the event and decided to stay because he wanted to live with his fans. It was what he called a social experiment that he was conducting. And, it was a hell of a social experiment, especially the night the fans he was living with kicked him out, and I had to go pick him up.
You keep calling it a social experiment. I believe what he said was it's Social Security.
Yeah,
to him, that's what it was.
Yeah, he had nowhere else to go, and he lived here for almost 2.5 months. But the story is up on our website at WIBX950.com. You can check it out. Tanya J. Powers standing by on the line right now. Tanya, good morning.
Oh, I have to read this. This sounds very interesting.
Oh, Tanya, please read it and give me your feedback. It's right on the front page of our website. And I believe the title, what is the title? It's An Odd Christmas Dinner and 2 More Months of Gallagher. Listen, Tanya, he spent Christmas dinner with us. And then, let's see, it was 2 o'clock in the morning when I finally got him a cab and sent him to the hotel room we hooked him up with. But it was quite an experience.
So when the groundhog sees his shadow, you get 2 more months of Gallagher? Is that
2 more months of Gallagher, that's right. Yeah, Groundhog Day came early. There is no doubt. Yeah. Anyway, so check that out and give me your thoughts. Okay.
I will.
Hey, when Election Day comes, you get 2 more months of ballot counting. Isn't that right?
It's where we are. Tanya, this is really it's turned out to be quite the unique election.
Right, well, and yes, we had our own social experiment last week, and that was, of course, the election. And there are still, I think, 19 uncalled races as of this morning. and we're talking about, House, Senate, stuff like that. The control of the Senate has been settled. The House is still up for grabs. The outstanding Senate race is, of course, the Georgia one. That is the one between Senator Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker. That has gone to a runoff on December 6th because neither one of them got the 50% threshold cleared to get the outright win. So, but the fact that Democrats won in Arizona and Nevada mean that control of the Senate is no longer just hinging on Georgia. It's still important because there's a big difference between 50 seats and 51 seats. So if the Democrats manage to pull off a win in Georgia, that is, that adds to their majority. And that one little seat means it's a big difference.
Yeah.
There are still some races that are not in the House that are not decided. We've got Arizona. There's let's see, California, Colorado, Oregon. There's also a big governor's race that's not called in Arizona. That is the Katie Hobbs, the Secretary of State there, who's the Democrat. She has a narrow lead over Carrie Lake, who is the Trump-backed former news anchor, TV news anchor. There are still a lot of votes to be counted there, but that one is also still outstanding. That also, obviously means the ballots are still being counted for their Attorney General's race there in Arizona as well.
And then we have up here in the congressional race, we have one that's still in the midst of a recount. But Brandon Williams, the Republican, is calling victory. What does he have now? It's like a 2,000 vote lead as of right now. But we'll find out this week. And most likely the Republican's going to win here. So it's interesting. New York had a pretty big midterm upstate for Republicans.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that is that a big surprise though? I mean,
it was a Democratic-leaning district. It was blue,
Gotcha.
and he's really Brandon Williams is really a newcomer, someone that no one really knew, and you would say that even in his primary, he won the primary. He beat the establishment candidate. No one thought he was going to win the primary. So, I do think this is quite a surprise, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm still, my head is still in Pennsylvania from last
You're right.
week,
I get it. And we heard your reporting from Pennsylvania. It is, this is a bit historic. It breaks all the historic trends.
Yeah, it does. I thought it was a very interesting, the outcome of the entire thing was interesting, from, how the different candidates performed, what voters told me, when I was on the ground there in Pennsylvania, what they told me that was important to them. It was one of the most interesting races I think I've covered.
Yeah.
Period.
Wow.
So yeah, there's some vote counting still going on though. Like I said, the control of the Senate's pretty much set, but the House is still up for grabs.
Hard to believe. Okay, Tanya, thanks as always. We appreciate it.
Sure.
Let us know on your take on the Gallagher story. You let us know. So.
I'm going to read that today. Thank you.
Thanks so much. That is Tanya J. Powers from Fox News. So, what else is there to talk about after the weekend? We've made the transition to, I would say at this point, I knew we were making the transition when our plow guy was like, okay, it's time to collect on plowing. And my neighbor across the street was doing some fine tune-up on his snowblower. They're talking about, and I'd like to know what Richard's take is, a potential nor'easter on Wednesday and Thursday that could possibly bring, dare I say it, significant snowfall.
Of this week?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Davey, you're shaking your head. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I seen it.
He saw it.
Yeah. Richard, I'd like to know what you think about it as well.
An Arizona man was arrested for DUI for allegedly driving high on meth and with an injured owl inside of his vehicle. Let me tell you, I don't know what it is, but we're getting more on owls this year than ever before. It's kind of like that shark attack thing.
Yeah, I was going to say it.
He bought the owl illegally from someone at a gas station. You go to the gas station, there's a guy selling an owl. I mean, I don't think that's out of the realm of normalcy.
You got any bald eagles in the trunk?
Thank goodness the owl is now being taken care of by Liberty Wildlife. Here's biologist Laura Hackett talking about Mason Stapley's DUI arrest and what's happening with the owl that he ultimately purchased. Here we go. Okay, it's of course not going to play.
Now I have questions, and I don't know if the audio would clear this up or not. They noted that it was an injured owl. Did he buy it injured, or is he like into abusing owls? Is that his fetish?
I think he probably purchased it. Most likely purchased it the way it was.
Okay,
because he had just purchased the owl.
Okay,
let's try this. I've restarted. Here we go.
We think that she had gotten knocked around or jostled somehow in that tumultuous night that she had. The officer handled it like a pro, you know? He did the right thing, got it to safety, so he has a really good story to take home and tell his family. It brought home 2 different legal points. No, you can't own wildlife, and no, don't do drugs.
The owl is currently in a rehab program working towards hopefully being released back into the wild. The Arizona man is currently in a rehab program working towards hopefully being released back into the wild also. A flight, this is what I want. If you're on one of these flights, number one, if you're going to try to take down a flight, the last one you want to do is a Frontier flight.
You mean airplane?
Correct.
Okay.
If you're going to grab a box cutter and you think you're going to hijack an airline, the last one you want to hijack is a Frontier plane. There's no room to move around. Everyone's so tight. They're in there like sardines. You'll have very little control, very little mobility. And sure enough, a flight heading to Tampa had to divert to Atlanta because a man with a box cutter was making threats to passengers. And here's who I want on my flight: veterans. And it's a great Veterans Weekend story. Luckily, veterans on board were able to defuse the situation, and they subdued the man. They didn't kill him. They didn't take the box cutter and slit his throat. They were able to subdue him and talk him down. Here is veteran Larry Cumberbatch talking about taking action to keep everyone safe on the flight.
The lady came up and told us that the person sitting in the center seats had a weapon and showed it to them and said he's going to cut multiple people on the flight. And he has a weapon, and I don't know what kind of weapon it is. But basically said, hey, I'm going to be sitting here from now on. And then he said, no, the young lady's sitting here. He got like frantic. He said, oh, no. And then he got up, went to the back of the plane. He was concerned that maybe his movement was going to go towards them and harm them. And then he just grabbed them, a beer hug, and they fell.
Yeah, I mean, this could have ended where they did something really bad to the guy. But it turns out, we're talking about mental illness, it seems. They subdued him and brought him back down to some normalcy so that authorities could take over when the plane landed.
Well, I have this very
But it did divert to Atlanta.
I have the very same question that we were asking about the Utica School District situation. How did he get this box cutter onto the flight?
Well, yeah, you would wonder, right? I mean, I once got on a flight and we're sitting there waiting for a transfer. What do they call it? Transfer. Our transfer. So we were connecting, and I'm sitting in the airport. So I've flown. I have my bag. You take your carry-on. We had to switch planes, so we had to get off the plane. So I'm sitting for our connecting flight, and I'm going through my bag to pull out my computer, and there is about a 9-inch set of orange-handled scissors that no one caught.
Boy, that's concerning, isn't it? I mean,
I guess. And then somebody said, well, scissors are allowed. Okay, scissors are allowed? I could use that as a stabbing mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, you could make the argument that a plastic fork could split somebody's skin also, I guess.
Yeah.
But a box cutter, though, is a very distinct, has a unique shape. How does that get through? I would ask the same question on the scissors, but to me, a box cutter is more dangerous than scissors.
I have a knife and scissors that I carry with me that are airport approved, and it's one of those new gadget type things. So it's like a credit card. It's about the size of a credit card, and I can pull out scissors. I mean, they're very, very flat, but they work if you're in need. There's a little knife there. All of that is okay to fly on an airplane. I mean, at some point, you got to realize people are not. You could use anything, right?
Correct.
To hurt
but
somebody.
Again, with a box cutter, there's no question. Like they're not bringing it up there to break down cardboard.
Well, yeah, I thought I'd help the stewards, the attendants, the flight attendants, recycle. Right. Okay, so awful story out of Texas. A B-17 Flying Fortress and a Bell P-63 King Cobra collided in midair and crashed to the ground over the weekend at the Wings over Dallas World War II air show for Veterans Weekend. Here's a clip captured when spectators saw the two planes colliding.
Oh no! Oh my God! Did it hit the plane? That other plane hit him? Yes! Oh my God!
Yeah, it's terrible. When you saw it happen, it was just terrible.
That's awful. I'm surprised the explosion didn't come through on the audio more, but that's, gosh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it was very, very bad, and you watched it, and you just kind of had a feeling that it was going to. They were coming awful close to each other, and they're just, what's interesting is there's so many different angles, because they now have not just security cameras on this, or maybe TV cameras, but everyone and their brother was taping from their phones.
I don't know that it was anything like this type of an air show, but I went to an air show. I used to go all the time as a kid when I'd go visit family in the Hudson Valley area, Poughkeepsie, Rhinebeck. There's a famous air show that they do down there. I can't think of the name of it. And I wasn't there for this, but as a kid, we would go all the time, and there's like this whole scene where like there's this fake bank robbery, and then the villains get in a plane, but it's a whole thing that's set up. But several years later, I have to go double check this. I believe somebody died in a plane crash when they were doing one of those reenactments. It's very tragic for the audience also.
No doubt about it, to watch this. Davey, who's on line one?
Roger, he wanted to talk about the upcoming election that just passed.
Okay.
The upcoming election?
They're still counting, so it's still up and coming. Hi, Roger. Good morning.
Yeah, the Democrats up to their tricks again. The manipulations process.
You think?
I can remember when we used to vote. When I used to vote, we used to find out within a day or two who won.
Yeah.
They're playing their same game again.
No, there's no game. I mean, Roger, think about this for a second. These are all absentee ballots, and oftentimes you're talking about military votes. There are no games being played.
Well, not
it
so
shouldn't
much
take this long.
It does take this long.
18 to 26 years old, they're going to give them $300-400 or whatever a month back, or $20,000 for college, knowingly that they can't. The president doesn't have the right to even do that. He knew that. He threw that bone in there. That's a manipulation. That's what I'm saying.
That's
manipulation.
they're
saying they're going to take everybody's abortion away from them.
But that's politics.
Not a game.
That's it is. It's a terrible game. You're right. Both parties play it. But the elections...
Not as bad as the Democrats.
Well,
I'm telling you, they're rotten to the core. You know the kids weren't going to get that $20,000. You know.
Well, they're believe me, that part is going through. Just listen, the debt forgiveness on student loans is going to go through. Just trust me on that.
I thought it was 10 grand. It's 20.
It's 10 unless there are certain stipulations based on income where you could. It could increase to $20,000. But beyond all of that, all I'm saying to you is, let's not talk about stolen. There's no stolen election here.
I didn't say that. I said manipulated.
But that's politics. That's why at the last minute Biden came in and he's offering this, offering that, and then.
Here's the problem I got.
But Republicans do the same thing. It's politics, and that's all that pork barrel money that we get to throw around out of Congress.
You're out of your mind. They never confront the president and ask him, "Are you sure you can give everybody that kind of money?" And the rules that don't say you could. See, they get away with that because
well, they actually did. It ended up in court, and it's currently on hiatus right now. And what I'm saying is, ultimately, you're probably going to see it go through, saying that the president has the right to do that. But let's see what happens, right? And he's only.
If that's the truth, that he could do anything he wants. He's
not
dictator.
necessarily. These are federal loans. If you have
you know what?
Okay, go ahead.
You see these young kids that are voting. They say, "Well, I voted." Ask any one of them who their senator is or who their congressman is. They don't even know who he is.
Yeah,
they're so stupid nowadays. They don't follow us. They just say, "Oh, yeah, go vote because he's a Democrat or so and so is going to give me $10,000." This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's idiots running the country. It is. It really. You got a guy in Pennsylvania. I mean, I'm not making fun of him, but really, he shouldn't be in his office.
Can I ask you?
The one that won senator. What's his name?
Yeah.
Fetterman.
Fetterman. Could you fix my screen?
Fetterwoman. Yeah, Fetterwoman. No.
Fetterwoman. Okay. Listen, can I just say this? First of all, what was your first name again? Roger. Roger. Why don't you run? Huh?
Why don't I run?
Why don't you run?
Same way you could run. But what they turn around
I don't want to run. I don't want to run.
They say, well, I don't think he should run. He's going to ruin the party. Or this is what's going on here. If they don't want you, you ain't going to run. You can't run.
Okay.
You run as an outsider. You got to take control from either party if you want to run. So I wouldn't run just based on that alone.
Now, what do you say, though, to the fact that Brandon Williams, not only a political outsider, but doesn't live in the district, so he is an outsider, couldn't even vote for himself in this race, taking on a Democrat out of Syracuse? We're no longer the population center in a Democrat-leaning district, and Brandon Williams is going to win. I think he's going to win. They're doing the
he's going to win. He probably hit a note with a lot of people. Something about him they liked. Maybe they just didn't like something about the other guy. Maybe he was apparently making fun of it. Brandon Williams owned something. It was an orchard or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like the truffles. Yeah,
truffle farm.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't like that way they were hitting him. Look at down in Florida where so-called the governor walked away with it. He was running against a nobody. Chris was really a has-been. He was there before, and then his guy's pounding himself on the chest how he destroyed it. He was a nobody to run against.
All right, I hate to do this, but I'm out of time. It's been compelling.
Good. Nice talking to you.
It's been
Thank you for the call.
We appreciate the call, Roger. All right?
All right.
Okay, good luck. And when you run, you let us know.
Can I just say, though, I think he did have one really valid point.
You have 10 seconds to give it.
We have 19. Tanya just mentioned it, 19. We're a week away. A week out.
I'm telling you right now, that is the way elections have always been. You wait for the absentees to come in, but we'll talk more about it coming up. WIBX Utica Rome. It's 7 o'clock.
He wants to prevent competition from turning into conflict. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's one of President Biden's goals, meeting now with Chinese leader Xi Jinping.
And to find ways to work together on urgent global issues that require our mutual cooperation.
Fox's Peter Ducey's in Indonesia, where the two are talking ahead of a summit of G20 nations.
Some of those urgent global issues for the president: a potential Chinese takeover of Taiwan, Chinese human rights abuses, and China gaming the world economic system. And whatever issues Xi has with the United States, he plans to air out as well.
In this time and age, great changes are unfolding in ways like never before.
Ukraine's president is in Kherson, the city liberated after a Russian retreat.
One of the biggest wins for Ukraine in this war has been forcing Russia to abandon the only regional capital it's managed to conquer. And after a weekend where soldiers were greeted with hugs and flowers, there was a warm welcome for the president as well. Volodymyr Zelensky greeted soldiers and thanked NATO and other allies for their support.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Kherson's in bad shape. No power, no running water, food and medicine shortages. 6 days after the elections, votes are still being counted, with 18 House races not called yet. Republicans remain confident they'll win at least 6 of them to take the majority in the next Congress. Democrats have kept Senate control, with Catherine Cortez Masto's narrow win in Nevada over Republican Adam Laxalt.
When the national pundits said I couldn't win, I knew Nevada would prove them wrong.
There still is a Senate runoff next month in Georgia. The search is on for a killer around the University of Virginia. After a shooting late last night in Charlottesville left 3 people dead, 2 injured. Police say the suspect is Christopher Jones Jr., an ex-UVA football player. Classes are canceled. Students told to shelter in place. Classes also canceled at the University of Idaho the day after 4 students were found dead. America's listening to Fox News.
This holiday season, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us with their annual Season of Hope. Between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve, the foundation will deliver mortgage-free homes to dozens and dozens of America's catastrophically injured veterans, fallen first responder families, and Gold Star families. Bring hope to heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Smith & Wesson is committed to empowering Americans, no matter what. With inflation hitting everywhere, we've decided to make a change. Now, you can buy a Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, our most popular concealed carry firearm, at an all-new low price, $100 off MSRP. We're absorbing the costs and passing along the savings to you, so you don't have to compromise on personal security. Visit smithandwesson.com to find a Shield Plus near you. Smith & Wesson. Always expect the best.
We still have mostly cloudy skies and 46 degrees. 46 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by Baird Private Wealth Management, a strong financial partner for 100 years. Visit bairdoffices.com/Utica. Well, gas prices across New York State continue to inch upward. According to AAA, the average price for a gallon of gas in the Utica Rome market this morning is $3.91 a gallon. That's an increase of 3 cents from last week and 16 cents over the past month. In Syracuse, they're paying an average of a dime less, $3.81 the average out there. Statewide, the average price per gallon is $3.89. A horse and buggy accident in Oneida County sends 4 to the hospital and 2 horses running free. The rollover accident happened early Sunday morning on North Steuben Road near the intersection of Lewis Road in the town of Steuben. Officials say 10 people were in the buggy, 2 adults and 8 children, and for some reason the horses became unattached. The buggy lost control, went down a hill, and flipped. 4 were taken to the hospital and treated for their injuries. None are considered to be life-threatening. And the fire department there says horses ran off but were found safely and returned home later in the day. Current Utica School Board member Robert Cardillo running for mayor of Utica. Cardillo announced his intent to seek the Republican and Conservative Party endorsements. He is the founder and CEO of the Cardinal Organization, a business development firm. He ran for Utica mayor back in 2011 and wound up losing to current Utica mayor Robert Palmieri. No injuries reported after a fire that caused extensive damage to a home in Baldwinsville. There was a man trapped inside, but he was able to get out safely. Crews say when they got to the scene, they were already flames and heavy smoke pouring out of the home. Reports indicate there was one man inside, but he was able to get free. No injuries reported, but several pets did die in that fire. A highly secretive Space Force plane is back on the ground after completing its longest mission yet. The Boeing X-37B touched down at NASA's Kennedy Space Center early Saturday morning after 908 days in orbit. Not a lot is known about the space plane's 6th mission. Only a few experiments that took place have been confirmed, including one in partnership with the Naval Research Laboratory that involved converting solar power into microwave energy. Another was a... Go ahead.
When it landed, it created a huge sonic boom on Saturday morning.
Is that right?
People had no idea what the sound was, but that's what it was. Created this huge sonic boom.
And one more for you. We were talking about elections. A northern Kentucky mayor's race is over. It was decided by a coin flip. Votes were tied last week in the race to become mayor of the small Pendleton County city of Butler. The incumbent there, Greg McElfresh, and Mason Taylor both got 55 votes. A third candidate got 15. Kentucky law says tied elections must be decided by, quote, lots, meaning the winner is chosen at random. Taylor won thanks to a coin flip. It landed on tails. He'll now represent over 600 people as their mayor. How would you like that to be deciding your city officials?
Crazy.
It's 7:06 at WIBX. Your Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. We have rain showers and maybe some snowflakes, depending on where you are. A slight chance of snow showers continues until 1 today. Cloudy skies, then becoming mostly sunny later in the day today with a high of 41. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 24 degrees. Partly sunny skies for your Tuesday with a high of 41. Wednesday, snow early in the morning before 8 a.m. Then a rain, snow, freezing rain mix for part of the day, a high of 42 degrees. We're still waiting to hear from Richard, right, on his latest forecast.
Yeah, we'll let you know what he has to say.
It is 7:07 right now. Cloudy skies, 46 degrees at WIBX.
Well, what can I say about that Bills-Vikings game? What's wrong?
It is 28 degrees. I had the wrong screen up. I said 26. I said, no, it's not 26. It's 46. No, it's 28 degrees right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not 46 out.
Sorry.
Although I had about 30 coming in, to be honest with you. It was above freezing. Although 7 o'clock hour tends to cool off a little bit. The Vikings overcame a 17-point second-half deficit to beat the Buffalo Bills 33-30 in what Vikings fan would call the greatest game ever. Wow. Josh Allen threw 2 key horrific interceptions. And, Davey, what's going on here? In the last 3 games, Josh Allen has had an accuracy problem. Like, interceptions thrown directly at a defender.
Right.
Yeah.
6 interceptions in the last 3 games, as you mentioned.
Jeez.
Not good. Anyway, so that you know what that does? It means the Bills are now tied with the Jets for second place, and Miami is now in first place.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that something? The Jets picked up the big win, and here it is. Gang Green is now tied with Buffalo for second in the AFC East. They're both 6-3. The Dolphins are 7-3. The Jets are back in action when they visit the Patriots this coming weekend, and the Jets were off. You know, the Bills are playing. They'll play this weekend, but then they play on Thanksgiving Day. They have the early game on Thanksgiving Day. We better turn things around here. I don't want my Thanksgiving ruined.
12:30.
Yeah.
You play, obviously, Detroit then if it's a 12:30 game. And then the Giants will play the Cowboys at 4:30. And I can't remember the last time the Giants played a Thanksgiving game. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
And how about the Cowboys in command of that game all game long? But Aaron Rodgers, who struggled this year, made his way back and ends up winning the game. Did it go to overtime? I know they won by 3.
Minnesota?
The Packers.
Oh, no.
Packers.
I believe it went to
Oh,
yes, it did go to overtime.
Yeah, I know, Minnesota. What are
I
you
know.
trying to rub
I'm
that
sorry.
in my nose?
I'm sorry. So, actually, I actually thought of Andrew yesterday because not only did the Packers rally from a 2-touchdown deficit, but another good friend of mine is a Cowboys fan. And I was interested because they had actually argued, these two friends argued about when Mike McCarthy became, and it was, he's trash, you're going to hate him. No, he's way better than, who's the redhead guy who does Sunday Night Football now? I can't think of his name.
Oh, Collinsworth?
No. The former Cowboys coach.
Oh, Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett. He's way better than Garrett. Trust me, Garrett's terrible. And watching that game yesterday, all I could think about was them arguing. And watching him not go for the field goal on 4th and 4. He was busy arguing a different call. It was almost like he didn't realize it was 4th down. They went for it. They didn't get it. And then Rodgers took him down the field for the win.
The Giants have now won 5 of their last 6 games after taking down the Houston Texans 24-16 at the Meadowlands. How about that?
I was happy about it.
Yeah. The Thunder are beginning their 4-game road trip with a victory. Oklahoma City topped the New York Knicks 145-135. The Nets fall to the Lakers. The Rangers have won 2 of their last 3 games after topping the Arizona Coyotes 4-1 at Madison Square Garden. The Islanders visit the Senators tonight. The Devils visit Montreal tomorrow. And it's some local sports action, just to get it in there for you. Class C sectionals finals of the JMA Wireless Dome yesterday. General Brown 41, Holland Patton 0. Also, Morrisville beat Frankfurt. Utica College hockey beat Chatham University 5-2 on Saturday. Won 6-3 on Sunday to improve their record to 4-2. Utica Pioneers football, this is big, winning on Saturday 35-21, will play Susquehanna University in the NCAA Division III tournament.
I love that
big
it's
deal.
a bracketed tournament style. I know there's a ton of teams, and it's difficult to do it sometimes. But you have teams go to this bowl game, and we won the Keeler in the Morning Bowl, and everyone goes, "Well, what the heck?
Yeah, what is that?
Who cares?"
Well, it's where Syracuse is going to end up going after their debacle with Florida State on Saturday night, right? It'll be the Keeler in the Morning Bowl. We're playing we're actually playing its pickup. We're playing in the backyard.
The toilet bowl is where they
the
deserve.
toilet bowl. Kathy in Rome. Oops, I lost you, Kathy. Sorry. Cordelia in Rome. Good morning.
Good morning. That was a real tearjerker with Buffalo game yesterday.
Oh, my God.
I was watching it. I just really couldn't believe it. But that's what happens when you got two good teams playing against each other.
You want to know what that game caused was confusion.
For
my wife, who was sitting in the dining room, and I'm screaming, and she's like, "Oh my God!" I said, "That's it. The game is over." And then I'm like, "Wait a minute! No! Oh my God!" And I'm screaming, and then the last words out of my mouth, I can't believe we're going to win this game in overtime, considering how far we were ahead. Before I could say the word ahead, Josh Allen threw an interception. Game over. Wow.
I know it. And then another subject about the absentee ballots and stuff. They are always included in the tally, the finishing tally on election night, because they came in prior and they were all added in. But there's always a candidate who gets all nerved up and wants a tally.
Right.
I want all the absentee. Well, that's the cry that you hear all the time.
Well, the problem is, though, Cordelia, is each state has different rules with those ballots, right? So,
but I'm talking about
in New York,
our days.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, that's okay. They could, it's a process. It's a legal process that is given to a candidate. So.
Yeah, and you may very well also get into a situation where if it's close, there's an automatic recount. If it's within half a percentage point, there's the law now is it has to be an automatic recount in New York. So it's possible that could happen in the 22nd.
So, we just see how it turns out. And
but listen, Cordelia, you called it. You said Brandon Williams is going to win.
I know I did.
Yep. I remember very well.
Yeah, because the other one was just kind of a rude type campaigner.
Well, you know what Knoll did, I think, and he did not think about Oneida County. Very little campaigning was done in Oneida County.
No, they all
went to Syracuse, and you know what? Turns out the winner chicken dinner for Brandon Williams is Oneida County. Interesting.
And Williams, when he kept, visiting groups and talking, he came across very gentlemanly-like.
I agree.
Very professional.
And and the other thing he did really well is his was very grassroots. He really got out and met people. And the belief is in politics, and Cordelia, I know you know this, the belief is if you can shake a person's hand, there's a very good chance you'll get that person's vote.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like the old hold the baby and kiss the baby adage.
It works. All right, Cordelia, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye, guys.
Political guru, Cordelia in Rome. And
John?
Kathy, let me take Kathy first. Hi, Kathy. I know you've been waiting. Good morning.
I have to say, I saw I wanted your commentary on Yellowstone last night.
Okay.
I watched the first hour. I had to do eye drops and turn in because of eye surgery. So I'm going to watch the second hour tonight. So
all right.
I would like your commentary.
So I watched both hours. I love Yellowstone.
Oh, I
do too. I think it's. However, there were some points in this. Did you get to the part? I don't want to give anything away because you're into the second hour.
What are you talking about, Kathy? You haven't seen it yet. Why do you want him to explain what happened?
She's seen the first half. She hasn't seen the second half.
Well. That's all right. We're gonna all watch.
But I'm gonna say this. I'm shouting at the TV like he's sending an ambulance. Why would you do that? And that's all I'll say. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you'll know what I'm talking about when you watch the second hour. He's sending an ambulance. Why would you do that? And to me, I just felt like there was a couple of points in there where there was writing, and I'm like, okay, this show's human after all. There were a few parts that I was uncomfortable with. Other than that, it was awesome. What was your take?
The first hour, I'm thinking, everybody is definitely. I mean, he's going definitely for a good cause.
Yeah.
The land.
Right.
But everybody is going to be gunning for him, and the sister, she's something with her brother. How she blackmailed him.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. If you've not watched it, it's on Paramount. The other part of this that I didn't expect, Kathy, is we usually watch on the Paramount app, but we watched on Paramount. I didn't know there's an actual cable channel.
Yes,
Paramount.
We watch it.
But there are commercials that play.
Yes, that's the only problem. And we were discussing how it said limited commercials.
Yeah.
But to me, it just seemed like
a lot of commercials.
It was just the usual. But
well, and it's also interesting how they built the characters from Yellowstone into some of the commercials. I thought that was interesting.
But I look forward to going to the back where they do the relatives during Prohibition.
Yeah, that's 1912, I think is the name of that one.
You know, what do they say when you get near Chicago? If you can smell the gunpowder, you know where you are.
You know where you are. All right, Kathy, good stuff. Let me know what you think of hour number 2.
I will. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks. By the way, it was Yellowstone was a 2-hour debut presentation, so it was 2 episodes, but it lasted 2 hours and 30 minutes. So that means there were 30 minutes of commercials, and that was limited interruption. There were 30 minutes of commercials last night. That is, I think, the number 1 show on TV right now, Yellowstone.
I couldn't believe how many promos I heard for it
It
during
was
football
all over the
games
place.
yesterday.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, last week they did the teaser inside the football game. It was just before I think just at the end of the pregame. That was something. All right, you have some other comments there? I know
Yes,
you do.
this is from, we got a comment here from John in Rome. And John in Rome, I'm kind of confused, so I sent him a message back. But anyway, he said, why is it when the Bills win, there's 20 minutes on how they're a powerhouse? They are the second coming. Josh Allen is the second coming. And when they lose, there's no talk about them, like they were on a bye week. And you're searching for anything else to talk about.
I think we've talked about it. It's there's something going on with Josh Allen. The last 3 weeks, he's thrown 6 horrible interceptions. And I do think, I mean, let's just say here, Josh Allen single-handedly brought them back down the field last night. I mean, it was unbelievable. And you could see, he's like, I don't care about my injury. We're getting this first down. Josh Allen is an amazing quarterback who I still don't have right now, based on the last 3 weeks. I get nervous in these key situations because he's throwing horrible, and 2 in last night's game, horrible interceptions. He played a perfect first half and a horrific ending to that game.
Wait till you see Danny Jones line up under center for you. That'll really turn your hair gray. Listen, so I replied to John. I said, I'm not sure what you mean. Bill bellyaches all morning when the Bills lose. Every time.
And I am right now.
It's so bad. I wish they had won.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Jeff. Very good point. It was just horrible. And as for the Syracuse game,
What does our good friend Michael say about the Bills playing yesterday? Is he disgusted with them?
We'll find out. Michael, Republicans need to wise up and understand it is no longer election day. It's election season. I do think because of the amount of mailed-in ballots now that they should start counting prior to election day so you get the results quicker. I do agree with that, and it could be done that way. But for some reason, this is how we do it. Interesting stuff. And you had said, it used to be we'd at least know by the next day. Now, why is this dragging on? This is an unprecedented number of razor-thin races. That's the problem.
I don't have enough info to dispute that, but I'm just, on Friday, that guy from Vegas coming out there saying, it's 3 days after the election, and we still have 50,000 ballots to count, and I don't think they were affidavit ballots.
I also think that one of the things that we've seen here, although all of our results came in, right? We had our results they were late from Oneida County, but by 2 o'clock in the morning, basically everything was in and done. But there were no close races to have to worry about. But I think we're doing a lot of switching with new systems put in place. I don't think that's helping us out at all in terms of speed. Maybe in accuracy. It's easy for us to say, boy, you know what? Back in the old days, when you'd pull that curtain across, those were accurate. But when you talk to people who really worked on elections 10 years ago, they say those were not accurate. There were many more mistakes that came out of those ballot booths than we know about.
So when you say, though, there were no close races, who's the NY22 congressperson?
What are you talking about? I didn't say there were no close races.
You said around here by 2 a.m. we knew everything that was going on.
Well, we don't know the congressional race.
That's
but
the biggest
saying,
one.
I understand, but unless you're Sheriff Mashel or Mary
won
Finnegan,
80%.
That's my point. Those came in, but I don't think Oneida County is holding things up. These are absentee ballots and affidavit ballots that are holding it up in the 22nd. Because what happens is they don't just count. You look at what they're doing. They say, we'll be counting all of these ballots next Tuesday or Wednesday. So they've plotted a day this week where they're going to finish counting, and that's when you're going to know your result. For the most part, though, I think Brandon Williams has won that race. So I don't have an answer for you on why we're still waiting. But again, anytime it's going to be really close, you're going to wait. Like I don't think we'll wait nearly as long as the debacle we had between Claudia Tenney and Anthony Brindisi. That was horrible. But in this case, and by the way, Jeff, don't count your chickens yet because they haven't hatched. They're just eggs right now.
What do you mean?
If it's 5% or below the differential in the 22nd, New York state law now requires an automatic recount. So that will take time.
Wait, 5% or 0.5%?
I believe it's 0.5%.
Yeah,
you may be right. Yeah. So we may not know. I want to talk about, move on from this. Do you mind? National Grid, some ways where they're telling us some ways where we can save some money and preserve energy and lower your bill. We're going to talk to Mary Beth Basha coming up in a few minutes. Micah's free money question of the day. We'll get to that. I also have a pretty cool story up on our website. If you get a chance to read it, it's at WIBX950.com on Gallagher and his 2-month-plus stay. He came for a one-night event and didn't go home for 2 months. And there's also some stuff I haven't talked about, some inside stuff that occurred while he was at my home on Christmas night, Christmas dinner. Wow. It's all up there, but I have some awesome Gallagher audio for you coming up. Of course, if you haven't heard, Gallagher passed away on Friday after a long battle, apparently, with cancer. He was in hospice care. I did not know that. And he passed away on Friday. 7:25, we'll do all of that. Coming right up at WIBX.
Which room is next for you? The bedroom? Your kitchen? The living room? Hi, this is Kira Meelan from Meelan's Carpet One. What's holding back that next home project? Is it budget? We have flooring choices for any budget and financing options available. Maybe it's inspiration. If so, come and talk to our experienced design team. We're here to help you get unstuck. Maybe you're putting off redoing a room because you're worried about spills and accidents. Whether it's a pet in training or a growing family, we have flooring solutions that can withstand anything life has to throw at it. We have incredibly durable tile options and 100% water-resistant carpeting that's both beautiful and practical. We have options that inspire, designers who will help bring it all together, and always a beautiful installation. To get the perfect flooring, start with the right flooring store. Visit Meelan's Carpet One on Commercial Drive East in Yorkville.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 6.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 6.99% APR to 21.49% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Hey, Collis would like you to know, Collis, Fred F. Collis and Sons, Heating and Cooling and Insulation, would like you to know that there are some incredible rebates out there right now from National Grid, but they expire on December 9th. So time is ticking. You talk about some of the experience that they have at Collis and the experience that the consumer has, that we have when Collis comes to help. Whether if you're having an issue with your furnace or you're looking to replace or repair, they do an amazing job. Their staff is incredibly dependable. Cold weather is ahead with winter on the horizon. The importance of annual maintenance of your heating system in the fall to ensure everything is working properly would be a great idea. It's going to be a colder week, so make sure if your equipment is older or outdated, updating the equipment is important, but making sure that it is maintained is even more important. There's a limited time increase in National Grid rebates, but unfortunately, these rebates end on December 9th. You could save big on a new high-efficiency boiler, furnace, and tankless water heater, such as saving up to $1,000 on a new high-efficiency boiler, up to $900 on a new furnace, up to $250 on a new tankless water heater. Opportunities that will be gone after December 9th. So give Collis a call today at 315-381-8982 and have their team of experts walk you through it all. 315-381-8982. Or you can visit them on the web at fredfcollis.com. With prices up this year, you want to make sure your heating system is efficient and giving you the best possible efficiency that is available to keep that bill down. Fred F. Collis and Sons, 315-381-8982.
We have mostly cloudy skies and 28 degrees at 7:31. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit them today at clintontractor.net. Employees at a Central New York bank branch thought something didn't seem right, and following their guts, they helped save an elderly woman thousands of dollars as she was unknowingly caught up in a scam. It happened recently at the South Utica Adirondack Bank branch after the woman completed a withdrawal for $3,200. She then asked for an $8,600 cash advance. After asking a few questions, bank staff learned the woman had been targeted in a well-known scam where an elderly person receives a phone call with wild claims that a loved one has been arrested or been in some type of an accident, and you must send money immediately to rectify the situation. And one more note, please don't tell anybody. Bank employees were convinced this was not adding up. They called the woman's son to verify that he was in fact okay, and he was. Ultimately, it's believed their intervention saved the woman about $12,000 from the unknown scammers. A horse and buggy accident in Oneida County sends 4 to the hospital and sent 2 horses running free. The rollover happened early Sunday morning on North Steuben Road in the town of Steuben. 10 people riding in that buggy, 2 adults and 8 children. Authorities say for some reason the horses became unattached. The buggy lost control and went down a hill, ultimately flipping over. 4 were sent to the hospital None of the injuries are considered life-threatening. The horses ran off but were later found and safely returned home. Price Chopper Market 32 and the Salvation Army are once again teaming up to raise money for the less fortunate. Starting today, the Salvation Army's Red Kettle Holiday Campaign begins at all 130 of the supermarket chain's locations in New York, Massachusetts, Vermont, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and New Hampshire. During last year's Red Kettle campaign, more than $500,000 was raised. The kettles will be in stores until December 24th. And taking a look at local gas prices, they are up again this week. Here in the Utica Rome market, the average price for a gallon of regular fuel is $3.91 a gallon. That's an increase of 3 cents from last week and 16 cents over the past month. In Syracuse, they're paying a dime less. $3.81 is the average statewide. In New York, the average is $3.89 a gallon. Right now, mostly cloudy skies, 28 degrees. Your Weather Center forecast calling for more snow showers this week. Of course, we were introduced to the snowflakes for this season over the weekend. This forecast is brought to you by Baird Private Wealth Management, a strong financial partner for 100 years. Visit bairdoffices.com/Utica. Mostly cloudy skies, slight chance of snow showers between 10 and noon this morning. Otherwise, partly sunny with a high of 41 degrees. Partly cloudy overnight tonight with a low of 24 degrees. Increasing clouds for your Tuesday, a high of 42. Tuesday night, snow in the overnight hours, a low of 30. We could see 2 inches of snow Tuesday night into Wednesday. And you were alluding to this earlier this morning. We could have a storm on our hands.
They were talking about a potential nor'easter in upstate New York. So I don't know.
Right now, for the forecast on Wednesday, it says rain, snow, and freezing rain to mix early in the day on Wednesday, and then rain later in the day, otherwise cloudy with a high of 42. Right now, we have cloudy skies and 28 degrees. It is 7:35.
The official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford, and you should try one of their lattes. Everything, like 14 different flavors that include pumpkin lattes. How about the snowflake rolls that they make up at Daylight Donuts? You have to sign up for those, and they'll have them ready for Thanksgiving dinner, which is a week from this Thursday. Coffee, espresso, lattes, fresh donuts every day, fresh bagels every day, and a drive-thru that's lightning fast. Chuck Sedella and everybody at Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. All right, Davey, let's do our free money question of the day. Looking for caller number what?
6.
Caller 6. Your chance to win from Hopica and WIBX. 6th caller through the phone lines right now at 315-736-0186. Chance to win from Hopica and WIBX. Caller number 6 right now. And then we'll talk. I have some audio on Gallagher from Friday. It was announced that he's passed away. I have some audio for you, which is pretty cool audio. And a big company out there tried a 3-day work week. 3-day work week. And we'll tell you what happened with that experiment coming up here. 7:36, caller 6 right now. Your chance to win a whole bunch of stuff, including money from Hobica, next on WIBX.
Hi, happy holidays.
Before you know it, the holidays will be here. Family and friends will be stopping by.
Let Sarah's Flooring Outlet get your home ready for the holidays and save up to 30% on select carpet.
Carpeting provides warmth and comfort unlike any other flooring.
And now you get up to 30% off select carpeting at Sarah's.
Plus, Sarah's will have your new flooring ready for the holidays.
You want to shop where the selection is second to none, where the prices are the best, and where the service is great.
Get your home ready for the holidays and save up to 30% at Sarah's.
Sarah's Flooring Outlet, where a specialist will always take care of your project from start to finish.
Let Sarah's Flooring Outlet get your home ready for the holidays and save up to 30% on select carpet.
Sarah's will have your new flooring ready for the holidays.
See why more people buy from the big store. In the Route 49 Plaza on River Road, Marcy, and online at insarasflooringoutlet.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Jovanon with Dental Arts. Our busy dental practice is currently looking to fill several full-time positions in our Utica office. We're seeking dedicated, experienced dental assistants to join our fun, hardworking team. We offer a competitive benefits package and the opportunity to elevate your career. Compensation is experience-based, but paid training is available. If you are reliable and enjoy working with people, we'd love to talk to you. We're seeking dedicated dental assistants to join our fun, hardworking team. Apply today on Facebook or at dentalarts.org. That's dentalarts.org. Dental Arts, we are looking for your help to create masterpieces, one smile at a time.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Every day at NBT Bank, we focus our business around all the ways we can help yours. We're large enough to offer leading business and digital solutions, but local enough to ensure personalized one-on-one service. So turn to NBT Bank for a full range of business solutions, like capital and treasury management services, even fraud protection, and see how NBT Bank is just the right size to help you do big things. Visit nbtbank.com to learn more and start a conversation. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens FindRx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. When you need to talk Medicare, Walgreens is here. Start shopping today at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Is your prostate secretly being destroyed without you knowing it? All the ads for these prostate pills like Super Beta Prostate, Saw Palmetto, ProstaStream, Prostagenics, and others want to know which pills work and which are garbage? Now you can. Get a free copy of the new guide, Prostate Secrets, that pulls back the curtain on the prostate pill industry. Learn what is really in these pills. Which pill has over 987 adverse event reports filed against it with the FDA? It's shocking. Learn the one food to avoid that is a prostate killer, and discover the 3 so-called health foods that destroy your prostate. Get your free copy at prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com. This free guide will show you how to end your prostate problems without drugs or surgery, 5 important things to do to protect your prostate, and much more. Warning, this guide is controversial and may be offensive to some readers as it pulls no punches. So go to prostatesecrets.com. prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, here we go. Anthony is in Burlington Flats, ready to take a shot at winning our free money question of the day from the Hobeika Law Firm. Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. He's out running right now. Hi, Anthony. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
Are you running? Are you really running?
No, I'm not running.
Okay, all right. Just checking, because you seemed out of breath there. But are you nervous? I hope you're not nervous, because we want you to win Hobeika's money here.
I'm doing fine.
Okay, you're doing fine. Good. I'm glad to hear that. All right, so you know the deal. It's from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. It's your chance to win $106.90. Our frequency on the FM is 106.9 FM. That's why we give away 106.90. All right, here we go with your question. Gallagher started his career as a road manager for a legendary performer who sang about snakes and marijuana and spiders. Who is that legendary performer? Ready, go. It's kind of a tough one. I would know this one immediately because I'm a big fan of Jim Stafford. And, of course, Gallagher, when he was here, was talking about how you want me to get Jim Stafford on for you. I could do that. And I'm like, well, that might be pretty cool. He did the song My Girl Bill. He did I Don't Like Spiders and Snakes, but that ain't what you have to do if you want to love me. I forgot how the words go. And then he also did Wildwood Weed. the song. Remember, I was growing up as a kid, and a wildwood flower, but sorry. Do you remember that song at all?
No, I don't.
No, it's a great song. All right, listen, we will, though, give you, I'm going to set you up with tickets to Fat Cats Comedy Club playing every Friday and Saturday at Fat Cats at Tony's Pizzeria in Washington Mills. Plus, I'm going to give you the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card. Da-da-da. It's a $25 gift card that's good at Babe's, at 72 Tavern and Grill, at Taylor and the Cook, and at the Adirondack Bank Center at all of their concession stands, okay?
Thank you.
All right. So stand by, and Davey's going to hook you up. Anthony, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Right, goodbye. Stand by. Don't go anywhere. There's a lot of talk out there, and I spoke to somebody over the weekend who's working completely remote, 100% remote at their workplace.
Still.
And by the way, the reason they went to it is because employees were more efficient during COVID than they were prior when they worked inside the workplace. Isn't that an interesting little twist?
It is, yeah.
Now, that's not everybody's experience, however.
Correct.
There are also companies that are trying to work on maybe a 4-day work week, or even one company that went down the road and experimented with a 3-day work week. And Chris Westfall is with Fox News on the line right now. Chris, how did this 3-day work week work out?
So far, so good.
Really?
An entrepreneur in Utah has introduced a 3-day work week, and he's experiencing increased productivity, 100% retention, which means people aren't quitting. And for a job posting announcing, you can work 3 days a week, he received over 400 applications.
Wow.
So people are hungry. Yeah, this 3-day work week thing, people are hungry for it because the nature of work has changed. I mean, if there's one thing we learned during the pandemic is that, the traditional way we think about work, it's not necessarily the way that we need to think about it for the future.
Now, this was an entrepreneur, but he was a franchise owner, right? This is a Chick-fil-A story?
It's a Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm, that's right, a Chick-fil-A owner.
You need more employees then if you're only going to have them work 3 days a week. But that's a big deal. And it's working.
It is a big deal.
Yeah.
So can I ask, do we know, because 3 days a week, a couple of things that popped in my head. First of all, I'd love a 3-day work week. As a matter of fact, next week we should do it.
Here we should do it. We
Next
actually
week
will
we'll
do it next week. Here at Town Square Media, though, they want us to work an 8-day work week. They've been working on it. It's a new experiment they've tried, and it seems to be going well. I mean, we're a little tired, but all is well here. What was your question?
No, my question was going to be, a lot of people, when you go to a job, you want benefits. In order to get benefits, you got to hit 40 hours. Well, if you're only doing 3 days, if you do 12-hour days, that's 36. You're still not to 40. Can you?
How do they do it?
Yeah.
So the way they've structured it is they've split the workforce into 2 teams, and the teams work 3 days on, 4 days off, and they do 13 to 14-hour shifts.
Wow.
So that's what it looks like. So there's a greater, you got to have more focus. You got to make sure that, you're up for that kind of a work day. But so far, it's been going very well. And it's not just something for Chick-fil-A. I mean, Microsoft in Japan a few years back, they reduced the work week. They reduced the number of hours. Productivity shot up 40%. So this idea of work-life balance and employees, they want more. People are working hard today. They want more family time. They want more time to focus on, fitness or health, social life, whatever it is. And when an employer is able to say, look, you give me 3 days, I'll give you 4, that feels like a good transaction. The employees feel like they're winning.
Yeah. I like this. This is kind of now. Not all, certainly a bit tough to do it if you do a radio show,
right?
Because you're going to work 5 days a week. But this is this has some benefits to it. There's no doubt about it. Interesting, and it gives them the advantage when other employers are struggling to hire people. They get the advantage because people are flocking to this place. It seems.
That's absolutely right. And see, what they've done is they've created a message of distinction, and it's not just being distinctive with some gimmick or something. They're saying to prospective employees, to their new hires, here's what we have that makes us different. And that's something that Chick-fil-A has done in a number of different ways. And I'm not here to advertise Chick-fil-A, but I am here to talk about innovation.
Right.
And if companies are not innovating and not thinking about what it is that employees want, then the employees aren't going to want what you have to offer.
Yep.
They're going to go somewhere else.
Yep.
It's certainly an interesting situation. I don't know that, Bill, you gave an example. I don't know that we could play this out in every workplace, but certainly they're trying it there. I would also say, too, a 13 or 14-hour workday is quite stressful, but it is great to get 4 days off after the fact. I guess here's my question. Do you see this being duplicated in other places? Because as you indicated at the beginning, in order to pull this off, you actually need a larger workforce. And we see so many employers, they have just endless openings. They can't hire anybody.
It's true that there are 1.7 jobs out there for everyone who wants one.
Right.
So it's definitely a job seekers market. What that means is that job seekers can be more selective. So if employers want to select the brightest and best, they want to get the best workforce that they can in a tight labor market, they have to be offering something that is distinctive. And it means that it's not all about the money. You have to be sure that in your hiring process that you're being selective and you're finding people who can focus, who can give you the kind of dedication that it takes to do the 3-day work week and to work those longer hours. But the thing that is a big misunderstanding out there is that people don't want to work, and that's a misunderstanding. I think people, again, speaking in broad general terms, but people do want to work, and if you give them what they want, which is something more than money, if you can offer some lifestyle choices that make sense, people are going to show up and they're going to give you their best. At least that's the experience for this restaurant owner, and it's been in evidence in other places as well. Shorter work weeks create greater productivity.
Chris Westfall, thank you for your time. Interesting stuff. Thank you.
Great to be here, guys. Thanks.
Have a great day. Thanks. Interesting. By the way, Michael, who is an expert on the Beatles, said, yes, it's true. The Beatles song 8 Days a Week was written about working at Town Square Media. Thank you for that, Mike. Thank you. Okay. So there's a story, as we said, up on the site. Actually, Don Leibel did a really cool story on Roger McDowell.
Yeah.
And his memories of the '86 World Series Mets, pitching as a relief pitcher for the New York Mets at the time. You can check that out at WIBX950.com. And the story on there is up on the website regarding Gallagher and how he came for our Toys for Tots party at the Radisson. By the way, this was at the Radisson. Can you imagine all that watermelon and everything all over the floors? They were about to redo and sell the Radisson.
Yep.
So now it's no longer a Radisson. It's completely been redone. That's why they allowed us to come in and do Gallagher there.
And destroy the carpets.
We did it right in the restaurant.
Yes. As a matter of fact, a buddy of mine, who you may remember from the performance, got called up on the stage and got to smash some watermelons. And I actually recently saw him, and he was like, hey, you remember that time? And I was like, dude, you're not going to believe this, but Gallagher just died.
Do you know that Gallagher, this is in the story up on our website about Gallagher, how he came here for that event and then said, I think I'm going to stay. I'm like, you're going to what? I want to do this. So he wanted to do a reality show where he would live in people's homes, in his fans' homes. He would live with them. Now, keep in mind, this is quite coincidental. He lost everything financially. He didn't have a house at that point.
Right.
So, and it talks about how when I picked him up at the airport, he had nothing really but the clothes on his back and the clothes he planned on selling at shows, the T-shirts he was going to sell.
And a Q-tip sticking out of his ear.
That's a great story. You got it. The stories in this article are 1,000% real. And then coming to Christmas dinner at my home with my family and my parents, and the joke that he told to my mother that was way out of line.
I forgot about that. At one point, I thought Gallagher was going to die in Utica because you were going to kill him.
Oh, God.
He was telling inappropriate jokes to your family members. And anybody who doesn't know you.
To my mother.
Bill is not a guy who swears, and he doesn't appreciate the off-color comment, if you will. Like the inappropriate language type stuff. And I can't imagine it went over any better with your mother at the table.
Oh, it was not good. And that's all in the story. It's up on our website at WIBX950.com. Check it out. And there's some things in there that you will not believe really happened, but they did. And I proved some of it with the photos. You have to have photos. When I say something happened, and they're like, oh, that didn't really happen, I say, look at the photo.
Yes, it did.
And then the part where we thought he had a stroke. I mean, it's just... Read through it. It's a bit of a long read, but check it out. And I have some audio. Comic Gallagher died Friday after a short battle, health battle. I don't know what it was. I thought maybe cancer. He was 76 years old. He did have heart issues and had bypass surgery and all of that. He was best known for smashing watermelons and other things with his oversized sledgehammer, which he called the Sledge-O-Matic. He first attained recognition after appearing on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. From there, he was one of the few comedians to sell out theaters on a regular basis. He had 14 Showtime specials. We talk about that in the story as well, how it got so bad that he didn't get along with people and producers and executives that he ended up funding all those cable TV specials on his own. In each of them, his smashing became bigger and bigger. His first appearance on Johnny Carson, introducing the prop that would make him famous. Here's audio.
The handiest and the dandiest kitchen tool you've ever seen, and don't you want to know how it works? Yeah! Well, first you get out an ordinary apple. Then you place the apple easily between the patented pan. Then what do you do, gang? It's simple. You reach for the tool that is not a slicer, it's not a dicer, it's not a chopper and a hopper. What could it possibly be? It is Sledge-O-Matic. Hey! Nice and bad, quick and easy, applesauce in an instant. But can he do it with a watermelon? El Bang Bang Grande! Ole!
Yeah, I mean, and you know what he did when he traveled so lightly, he didn't bring any clothes with him or anything.
Just the ones he was selling.
Or I'm thinking, does a shipment, right, just the ones he was selling and signing, does a shipment come in with all of his props and stuff? Oh, no. We had to take him to the grocery store where he bought all of the fruit and vegetables. He used a guy by the name of Mr. Fansett,
Yes.
Ray Fansett.
Yep.
And also the zoo to build his sledgehammer.
And his table.
Made it out of wood, and the table. By that's what he would do. It was almost like a P.T. Barnum type, where you'd come in and you'd create a buzz in the area by going around and getting all the props that you need for your show. It was incredible. By the way, his family has confirmed the cause of death was organ failure. He also had several heart attacks. Once, after he came out of a coma, he described it all when he appeared on Letterman. Interesting. Here's... Yep.
No, I was going to ask about more about his family, but we'll get to that in a second.
Gallagher wasn't only known for smashing things with his Sledge-O-Matic. Here he is doing regular stand-up material about early Americans. Here's audio.
That's how this country was founded, not by complacent people that were satisfied with England. They got off the boat, they looked around, and they said,
"This'll do."
And that's why they called them settlers. It's what they would settle for. They just switched off of that boat and got onto a wagon. That's very important, the wagon. Just as important as your wheels are today, those wagons were, because if the wagon broke down and you was too dumb or lazy to fix it, that's where you stayed. You don't think people headed out for Tulsa, do you? You know, everywhere you see a nice big spread in America, they got two broken wheels out by the mill.
That is a funny joke. So, and I think that a lot of people don't realize it wasn't just the, breaking vegetables and watermelon and fruit. He was a very funny stand-up comic. So the other part, and this is described in the story on our website, the other part is when we had the event at the Radisson, there was an evangelical African-American group with about 150 people, praise the Lord, next door.
Yes.
And Gallagher immediately started doing ethnic jokes. right off the bat. And I'm like, we're going to have a fight on our hands. And it just turned out okay. Nobody did anything. And in fact, the evangelicals were kind of amused by Gallagher. But do you remember that?
Well, I remember
and there's
him,
proof of it in the story. In the story on our website, there's proof in there.
I remember him because there was some like singing going on next door.
Yeah, hallelujah singing.
Right. And so he would, whoa, he was making noises like that.
Here's Gallagher doing a bit about learning to read. Here we go.
I tried to learn to read ahead of time. I'd ask my dad signs on the roadside, what does that say, Dad? He'd say, good food. I say, why? They both end in O-O-D. Those words ought to rhyme. It ought to be good food or good food. Why is it good food? See, it doesn't matter. Why should I be serious about the language if the language isn't serious enough to make sense? Right, gang? Well, let's take the word bomb. B-O-M-B, right? Bomb? Bomb. B-O-M-B? All right. T-O-M-B. Tom? No. Tomb. All right. T-O-M-B. Tomb. C-O-M-B. Coom? Comb. All right. C-O-M-B. Comb. P-O-M-B. Poem? No. P-O-E-M. Poem. All right. P-O-E-M. Poem. H-O-E-M. Home? No. H-O-M-E. All right. H-O-M-E. Home. S-O-M-E. Some? No. Some. All right. S-O-M-E. Some. N-O-M-E. Numb? No. N-U-M-B.
That is brilliant, right?
Yeah, he was good.
A brilliant bit. I'll tell you, he was, I think, and we talk about this too in the story, I think he was so brilliant that he became bored with people. Everything was in his iPad. He'd written poems. He had all these ideas. Didn't want the Nexus Center to be the Nexus Center. Thought it should be a reunion center with a round setup where hotel rooms would be around it so the family members at the reunion would all meet and gather in one common area.
Restroom.
He was completely set on this. Dead at the age of 76, Gallagher. Wow. WIBX, Utica, Rome. It's 8 o'clock.
Can the U.S. and China work together? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is a big question after today's meeting that just ended between President Biden and leader Xi Jinping.
Humanity are confronted with unprecedented challenges. The world has come to a crossroads.
They're trying to figure out how to manage the U.S. and China relationship and keep it a competition. They don't want it to devolve into conflict.
To show that China and the United States can manage our differences.
Two of those urgent global issues, the way the president sees things, climate change and a potential Chinese takeover of Taiwan, which experts say poses a national security threat to the U.S.
Fox's Peter Ducey in Indonesia, where the talks precede a summit of G20 nations. Ukraine's president is visiting Kherson, being cheered days after Russian forces retreated from the city they had captured.
People waited for Ukrainian army, for our soldiers, for all of us.
Kherson has no power or running water and is low on food. There's a manhunt at the University of Virginia after 3 people were killed, 2 wounded in a late-night shooting.
Classes are canceled today, and a shelter-in-place order was still in effect early this morning. The university identified a student, Christopher Darnell Jones, as the shooter, but has not identified the victims.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. The vote counting continues with 18 House races still not called. Republicans need to win just 6 to take over control in the next Congress.
Indiana GOP Congressman Jim Banks said on Fox News Sunday,
"It will be a very slim majority, but we have an opportunity over the next 2 years to be the last line of defense to block the Biden agenda."
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she hasn't abandoned hope that Democrats can still keep their House advantage.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Democrats have kept control of the Senate with 50 seats to the GOP's 49. There's still a runoff election next month in Georgia. America's listening to Fox News.
This holiday season, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us with their annual Season of Hope. Between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve, the foundation will deliver mortgage-free homes to dozens and dozens of America's catastrophically injured veterans, fallen first responder families, and Gold Star families. Bring hope to heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
Smith & Wesson is committed to empowering Americans, no matter what. With inflation hitting everywhere, we've decided to make a change. Now, you can buy a Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, our most popular concealed carry firearm, at an all-new low price, $100 off MSRP. We're absorbing the costs and passing along the savings to you so you don't have to compromise on personal security. Visit smithandwesson.com to find a Shield Plus near you. Smith & Wesson, always expect the best.
Still dealing with some cloudy skies, and we still could see some snow showers this morning. Right now, we have 29 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. We'll take a closer look at that forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Employees at a Central New York bank branch thought something didn't seem right, and they were correct. They helped save an elderly woman from giving away thousands of dollars in a scam. It happened recently at the South Utica Adirondack Bank branch after a woman completed a withdrawal for $3,200. She then asked for an $8,600 cash advance. After asking a couple of questions, bank staff learned the woman had been targeted in a well-known scam where an elderly person receives a phone call with wild claims that a loved one has been arrested or was involved in an accident of some kind, and the only way to remedy the situation is to send money. Also, don't tell anybody about this. That was what she told the bank employees. They reached out to the woman's son, who was fine. Ultimately, it's believed their intervention saved the woman about $12,000 from these unknown scammers. A horse and buggy accident in Oneida County sends 4 to the hospital. The rollover happened early Sunday morning on North Steuben Road in the town of Steuben. 10 people riding in that buggy, 2 adults and 8 children. For some reason, authorities say the horses became unattached. The buggy then lost control, went down a hill, and flipped over. 4 were taken to the hospital. None of their injuries are considered to be life-threatening. The horses ran off but were later found and safely returned home. The average price for a gallon of gas in the Utica Row market is up again this week. The average price locally for regular fuel, $3.91, an increase of 3 cents from last week and 16 cents over the past month. Elsewhere around the state, in Syracuse, they're paying a dime less a gallon, $3.81. Statewide, the average is $3.89. Price Chopper Market 32 and the Salvation Army once again teaming up to raise money for the less fortunate. Beginning today, the Salvation Army's Red Kettle Holiday Campaign will be happening at all 130 of the supermarket chain's locations across New York, Massachusetts, and other northeastern states. During last year's Red Kettle campaign, more than $500,000 was raised. The kettles will be in stores through December 24th. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for continued cloudy skies this morning. Slight chance we could see a snow shower or 2 between 10 a.m. and noon. Partly sunny this afternoon, a high of 41 degrees. Partly cloudy overnight tonight and chilly, a low of 24. Increasing clouds through the day on Tuesday with a high of 42. Tuesday night, snow showers mainly in the overnight hours. We could see an inch or 2 of snow accumulation. That'll lead to a messy commute on Wednesday morning. Rain, snow, and freezing rain likely in the morning on Wednesday. That'll change to all rain later in the day with cloudy skies. Wednesday's high 42. Right now, we have mostly cloudy skies, 29 degrees. WIBX News Time, 8:06. Here's Keeler with sports.
Well, where do I begin after that Bills game last night? Holy moly.
Crazy game.
The Jets ended up picking up a win during their bye week, right? They now are 6-3 with the Buffalo Bills, tied for second behind the Dolphins, who are now 7-3. That's because the Vikings overcame a 17-point second-half deficit to beat the Buffalo Bills 33-30 in overtime. If you watch this thing, I got to tell you, it's the interceptions. And actually, the game ended on an interception. The Bills should have won this game, but it ended on an interception. 2 late interceptions by Josh Allen have got everybody wondering, the most accurate quarterback in football. What is going on, at least in the last 3 weeks? And the Giants have now won 5 of their last 6 games after taking down the Houston Texans 24-16 at the Meadowlands. Saquon Barkley carried the ball 35 times for 152 yards and a touchdown to lead the G-Men to victory. Makes you happy, Manaski?
It does.
Yeah. The Thunder beginning their 4-game road trip with another victory. Oklahoma City topped the Knicks 145-35 at Madison Square Garden. The Nets fall to the Lakers. Rangers wrangle the Coyotes. Islanders visit the Senators tonight. Devils will play in Montreal tomorrow. College football roundup. Syracuse suffered its 4th straight loss. They start the season off 6-0, and they now are 6-4. They will visit Wake Forest on Saturday night, and some great high school action to talk about here. Class C sectionals football. The finals of the JMA Wireless Dome yesterday. General Brown 41, Holland Patton nothing. And then Morrisville over the weekend beat Frankfurt Schuyler. Utica College hockey, the men beat Chatham University 5-2 Saturday. They won 6-3 yesterday afternoon, improving their record to 4-2. Utica Pioneers football, this is big. They won on Saturday 35-21. They'll now play Susquehanna University in the NCAA Division III tournament.
That's awesome.
That is really awesome. And there's some other stuff out there. Nexus over the weekend, that Nexus tournament with 30 teams competing. Had a chance to watch it. It was spectacular. And the number of people, it was really what I talked about. If you wanted to eat at a restaurant downtown on Friday or Saturday, you had to make sure you had reservations. It was tough to get in.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from some folks, whether you were in attendance at the Nexus Center this weekend just to check it out, or did you go downtown and find more traffic than you thought, or a delay at a restaurant that you didn't expect? I'm just curious to know.
It was we were there on Friday night, and it was cool.
Comets or Nexus?
Both.
Oh,
we
yeah?
did the Comets first, then went over to check out the Nexus activity. It was something. And, you know, it's tournament action. So just a lot of people in town. Really good. 8:09, stand by. Final hour here for Monday morning. Coming up at WIBX.
Happy holidays.
Before you know it, the holidays will be here. Family and friends will be stopping by.
Let Sarah's Flooring Outlet get your home ready for the holidays and save up to 30% on select carpet.
Carpeting provides warmth and comfort unlike any other flooring.
And now you get up to 30% off select carpeting at Sarah's.
Plus, Sarah's will have your new flooring ready for the holidays.
You want to shop where the selection is second to none, where the prices are the best, and where the service is great.
Get your home ready for the holidays and save up to 30% at Sarah's.
Sarah's Flooring Outlet, where a specialist will always take care of your project from start to finish.
Let Sarah's Flooring Outlet get your home ready for the holidays and save up to 30% on select carpet.
Sarah's will have your new flooring ready for the holidays.
See why more people buy from the big store. In the Route 49 Plaza on River Road, Marcy, and online at insarasflooringoutlet.com.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
High-quality care comes from the compassionate, the courageous, the dedicated nurses and support staff of the Mohawk Valley Health System. Every day, the members of the MVHS team make a difference in our community's health. MVHS is looking for dedicated people to join this exceptional group of employees to care for our patients, residents, and their friends and family. We offer competitive pay, a generous benefit package, and many career options where you can grow. We've increased pay rates for critical jobs, offer reimbursement to become certified in select jobs, and provide sign-on bonuses for certain positions. And now, we're redefining healthcare and health careers in our community with New York's newest hospital opening next year. Join the MVHS team and be part of an organization that takes care of our community. Visit careers.mvhealthsystem.org for more information. Mohawk Valley Health System. Unrivaled care. unrivaled careers. This is for you.
Earn more for every dollar saved. Let AmeriQ connect you with a new 18-month share certificate at 3.05% APY. Save more with your credit union. Get started at ameriq.org/save today. APYs are current as of October 17th and are subject to change without notice. Minimum balance to open is $1,000. Fees may reduce earnings. Withdrawals of principal are subject to early penalties. Insured by NCUA. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect.
Hi, this is John Calabrese. Is your company looking to hire qualified, dependable employees but unsure of where to look? Let Express Employment Professionals take on the recruitment and hiring process for you. We're a locally owned, full-service staffing firm. We'll help you find your next star employees. Business decisions come down to time and money, and Express can save you both. We take on finding employees for you so you can focus on meeting your business goals. Find us on the web at expressmohawkvalley.com for details on how to get started.
Are you looking for a great job? Stop searching. ECR International is hiring for assemblers and maintenance technicians. You could be working for the company that actually helped kickstart the world-famous Boilermaker Road Race. Both of the positions that we're currently hiring for offer excellent pay with a full benefits package. Instead of waking up every day dreading work, wake up and have a fulfilling job working for a great local company. Work for ECR International. To find out more, just call Express Employment at 315-790-5723.
Hey, River Hills Properties remains the fastest growing real estate company in Central New York because of how they do business. It's different. It's different than what other real estate agencies do. It's different. They offer so much more. Let's start with the book, 40 to 100 pages, and they gather everything there is to know about the home and the property. So if you're thinking about buying, this is an awesome tool. And if you do buy it, it's an awesome tool. It becomes the manual for the home. But it helps the process, helps you sell your home. They never use the lockbox. Your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. Just think about that for a second. And that's what we were looking for, my wife and I, when we sold our home. We wanted somebody to be there when the house was shown. They were there every time it was shown, and our house sold in a week. They were there to be able to answer questions, make sure the lights are on, and to keep an eye on things, which is a big deal. It's the River Hills Properties way. They just go out of their way to sell your home, out of their way to assist you in making it stress-free. It's the best experience you'll have when it comes to selling your home. It's the River Hills experience. Online, riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Call 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, let me go, if we could, to Jeff Manasso. This has been something we've been talking about for quite some time. Electric versus gas-powered. Is it cost-effective? Is it, do you end up really saving? What are the benefits? And Jeff is on the line now. Where are we on this, Jeff? Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. So there was a recent study from the University of Sydney and Greenpeace Germany that's sounding the alarm that basically says, look, this is where we're going. These things are safe and cost-effective over time and greener over time. And they're complaining that the world's biggest automakers plan to build 400 million more gas and diesel-powered vehicles than researchers say sustainable climate change goals allow, and they're targeting Volkswagen, Toyota, Hyundai, and Kia as other automakers shift toward electric. With companies like Volvo, GM, Mercedes-Benz planning to stop manufacturing gas engines some as soon as 2025. EV sales are up 66% nationwide this year, and amid future gas-powered vehicle bans in states like California, though there are many critics that contend that an all-EV future isn't going to happen. They point out that vehicles, planes, trains, mining equipment, ships, all of the transportation, they run on gas or diesel. And right now there is no transition. The Manhattan Institute reports widespread EV adoption would mean more pollution, that the electric vehicles, they emit about 10 to 20 tons of carbon dioxide from the mining of lithium, nickel, and cobalt, manufacturing and shipping before it even gets to your driveway. It also, it's hotly debated on just how much we'll have to drive an EV to really offset emissions, with words like debunked getting tossed around on both sides of the study. Of course, if you question one side of the study, well, then then there's a problem. But some scientists really are saying this. So look, this is fool's gold. You have to mine somewhere on Earth 500,000 pounds of minerals and rock just to make one battery.
Yeah.
You're talking about destruction of ecosystems and what to do with the coming problem of dead batteries. How to dispose or recycle them. The one undisputable fact right now is that EVs are mostly powered by burning natural gas or coal. That's just a fact, and that there's really no way right now that wind and solar are going to do it, let alone produce enough energy for the entire country.
Right. Jeff, can you explain that? What do you mean EVs are powered by natural gas and coal? They're electric.
Where do the batteries get their power? You plug them in, and where do we get our electricity?
Right.
Mostly right now, 80% from burning natural gas or coal.
Jeff, I had brought up a point, and I guess this is more of an opinion thing, and if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to. But I recently made the point, if solar was as paid as many dividends as we sometimes think it does, these electric vehicles would have a solar panel on the roof, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would think. That seems like a good idea. You wouldn't have to worry about, charging that or trying to figure out a place to charge it. And that's another problem. The infrastructure is not there. And, we've already heard story after story of apartment dwellers in major cities buying these electric cars and then realizing, oh my gosh, I have nowhere to plug these in. There's really no infrastructure in place. And while the Biden administration is investing heavily in infrastructure, particularly rural infrastructure on our nation's highways, it's still not there.
Yeah.
And widespread adoption, that's going to prevent widespread adoption because people are fearful. But there's also the price tag. The average cost of an EV is $66,000. You do have options. You can get them in about the $30,000-$35,000 range if you can fit in that thing. But most people like a little bit of a bigger vehicle, and that's obviously going to cost you a lot of money. And so, the price point, it's just not affordable for mass adoption in the country.
But with everything else, I mean, in the beginning, it's not going to be affordable, and over
flat
time,
screen TV, 60-inch TV, right?
Right. The beginning, right? It would cost you $3,000 for a TV. But the other part of this is it's very interesting because you're seeing automobile companies begin to make the switch, and I really wonder what they're thinking. I mean, one would assume they've done a lot of research and they know that this is the way to go. But when you see a big a Ford truck saying it can go 450 miles on a charge, and oh, by the way, it's as powerful as your gas-powered vehicle, where are they going? What are they thinking if they're not being forced? I mean, probably incentivized, but not enforced to get down this road.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to watch this, how it's all kind of playing out. But I can tell you, I did a story several weeks back about a guy who took a Ford F-150 Lightning, all-electric Ford F-150, that's supposed to be able to trail, large amounts of weights, and he trailered a lightweight aluminum trailer and lost about 1/3 of his power.
Wow!
Just by pulling on that thing, and so. Right. Look, there's some quirks that need to be worked out in this process. Is it where we're going? Seems like it, but at the same time,
are we ready? Are we ready?
Are we ready? And we're not. And I would imagine if we stop making gas-powered cars, there's going to be a lot of older gas-powered cars in the market because right now only about 2% less than that of the footprint of new cars that we're buying here in America are electric. And that tells you that people like their gas-powered cars.
Yep. Interesting, Jeff. We appreciate the time. Thank you.
You bet.
Jeff Manasso with Fox News Radio.
And just one more follow-up thought on the idea of a solar panel on the roof. I mean, you just figure At most people, at your place of employment, think of it. Do you have vehicles sitting out in the parking lot from 9 to 5 every day? Is it more feasible to let them draw energy off the sun or to plug them into the building?
First of all, I think you should go out today and just patent the idea just in case. But my guess is this is something they're already, hopefully, one would think, working on, right? Because I don't know where that's coming from. But it is, it just makes sense, right?
It does make sense. The other thing is, I just like we were just talking about with Jeff. I don't know that it's powerful enough to convert the energy that quick to draw enough to power a battery.
Think about this. Years ago, 10 years ago, if they had these solar lights that you'd put out in your yard, like as opposed to having the electric ones, and I would never purchase those. But now I own them, and they work. And every day they're back. Same thing with with your leaf blower. You can't have that because it's the battery goes dead, but it doesn't. Your drill that you have at home, your hand drill, never would have thought to have. But now they've become mainstream. So like everything else, I do think that you're going to see automobiles go down that road, but I'm not sure. We're not there yet.
Completely
we are
agree.
Clearly not there yet. So when do we get there? I don't know. Maybe Mary Beth knows. Mary Beth Basha is with National Grid. We still are going to need you, Mary Beth, in order to power our batteries. We still need you, right?
Well, yes, and I'm listening. You're making me make a decision in terms of which way I want to go.
Yeah. Well, it's very, very interesting. All right, Mary Beth is with National Grid. And obviously, with our bills, to heat your home, to put electricity into your home, it's going to be more expensive this year. And you have some ideas on what people can do.
Definitely. Excuse me. Well, the key thing is that there is a program that has opened up, and that was on November 1st, and it's called the HEAP program, the Home Energy Assistance Program.
Okay, all right.
And a lot of people qualify for assistance on their National Grid bill by qualifying for HEAP, and that qualification
arrears, like you have to owe the money in order to qualify for HEAP.
No. HEAP is all based on your gross monthly income, and it doesn't matter if you have arrears on your account or not.
All right. Okay. All right.
And if you qualify, the money that you qualify will go toward the arrears, which helps people out even more.
Sure.
And more.
Sure.
And then also too, if you get HEAP, National Grid has a program called the Energy Affordability Program, and that will give you an automatic credit every month on your bill based on being eligible for HEAP.
Okay. What is the threshold on that? Income threshold.
Income threshold, it depends on the household size.
Okay, all right.
A household of one, if you don't make over $2,400 gross every month, you would qualify.
Okay.
And the best thing to do is there is a lot of great websites out there. The one that the state puts out, it's mybenefits.ny.gov. That website has all the income guidelines. It even has an application that you can download, and then you just submit it to your local Department of Social Services,
okay,
either in person or by mail, and you can get that benefit, which is huge for a lot of the vulnerable people that we work with as advocates.
And it's a great program that's offered, and it keeps the heat on for a lot of needy people in our area. Those who don't want to go down that road or don't qualify, do you have some other tips that can prevent them from being in line for the HEAP checks?
Well, the first thing I would totally recommend is if someone is concerned about their bill, has arrears, may not qualify for HEAP, they should get in touch with an advocate because we're all across New York State, and we have collaborations in a lot of agencies. They might not be eligible for HEAP, but we might be able to get them on an affordable payment agreement, or because of our being in all of our counties, we're entrenched in all the agencies. We might know of other assistance that's available, even if they're not eligible for HEAP.
Right. All right.
There's a lot we can do.
But the one thing I would assume that is important is making the phone call. If you're having communication with National Grid versus the problem's just not going to go away if you ignore it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The advocates don't know you need assistance unless you reach out. And it's very simple because we have a great referral process internally. So if they need help, all they have to do is call 1-800-NIAGARA. That is our customer service representatives who can actually send a referral over to the advocate for their county, and the advocate will contact them. We'll contact them, we'll look at their account, see what we can do, recommend, or worst case scenario, if they don't qualify for assistance, we can get them on an affordable payment agreement.
Okay, all right.
I do see some energy companies, not providers, but like, insulation type companies. They offer these home assessments where they come in and they say, hey, look, we did an evaluation. You're leaking a ton of heat out of your roof, something like that. Does National Grid do anything like that?
What we do is we're basically the conduit, because if we come across somebody that might qualify for those programs, that's the Empower program, or the New York State Energy Resource Development Agency has a huge weatherization piece. We can refer people to those programs. Now, if they're on HEAP, they'll get a reduced rate, and they might not even have to pay anything.
Okay.
Landlords can qualify for these programs to make home assessments and improvements on their properties. So we can actually refer people. We can actually fill out the Empower applications for all of our customers if need be.
I do want to ask you, when we first started this talking with you, you were listening to Jeff Manasso from Fox News, and when you came on, you said, well, I'm hearing this. It's making me form a decision on what I'm going to do going forward. I wanted to know, Mary Beth, what is that decision? Are you going electric or staying gas-powered?
Well, for now, I'm gas-powered, and I have no car payment.
Then I'd stay right where you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I am looking for a new car. I am going to go electric. I know. It's just I always joke with the car dealer and say, "Well, I'll buy your car if you can guarantee no car payment." So,
right. Yeah.
But I am going to be going electric. It's just my car's in.
Well, look at history. Look at history. All you got to do is look at history. History.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It is.
But the question is, when do we find that sweet spot? Where it's more advantageous to be electric than it is gas powered. We are not there right now. I don't think so.
We're this close, and there's some cars. There's some cars that are, definitely go electric. Like I said, I'm researching it. I'm listening to what the company says about it. But I will be going electric when I'm ready to buy a new car.
Fair enough. Okay, Mary Beth, thank you for the update. And again, people should go to the National Grid website for, by the way, this is all coming from the woman who works for the electric company. Of course.
Exactly. But I work for National Grid, but I work for them.
Fair enough. And but important, though, to go to the website, right? If you have questions.
Go to the website. Yep. And to reach us directly, just call I say 1-800-NIAGARA because that's very easy to memorize versus the 642 blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Go to the website, let the representative know you'd like to speak to an advocate, and we'll call you back.
All right, fair enough. Mary Beth Basha, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Have a great day. We got a break. Hold tight. We'll come right back.
Some comments here we got to get to.
Some good comments. Some good ones. Well, depends on who you are if you think they're good. But they are comments, and we'll get to those coming right up. It's 8:32. I want to talk about a mortgage from Adirondack Bank. Your dream begins at Adirondack Bank. Whether it's your first home or a refinance, They have the product that will suit your needs. They're professional staff, dedicated staff, ready to help you choose the product that is set for you. It's a local bank making local decisions. And it's a mortgage that is tailored to your needs, no matter what the options you're looking for. So maybe because of your situation, a fixed conventional mortgage or an FHA mortgage would be perfect for you. But there's so many other options: construction, second home, vacation home, investment property, camp financing program, the USDA rural housing loans, all there, and many different options. And the expert at Adirondack Bank will walk you through the entire process. So being that it is a local bank that makes local decisions, it means your dream begins with Adirondack Bank, whether you're downsizing or you're getting into something new and bigger and better. Go to Adirondack Bank, adkbank.com. Adirondack Bank, member FDIC.
Golfing fans, we're here to tell you about the 80th anniversary membership special at Twin Ponds Golf and Country Club in New York Mills. For only $89 a year with a $10 per year administration fee, get a 2-year anniversary membership at Twin Ponds and enjoy unlimited golf from Monday through Sunday. Contact Twin Ponds today for this special offer before it's over. Get your $89 membership today. Go to twinpondsgolf.net.
Is your prostate secretly being destroyed without you knowing it? All the ads for these prostate pills like Super Beta Prostate, Saw Palmetto, ProstaStream, Prostagenics, and others want to know which pills work and which are garbage? Now you can. Get a free copy of the new guide, Prostate Secrets, that pulls back the curtain on the prostate pill industry. Learn what is really in these pills. Which pill has over 987 adverse event reports filed against it with the FDA? It's shocking. Learn the one food to avoid that is a prostate killer, and discover the 3 so-called health foods. So go to prostatesecrets.com. Prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com.
I'm William Attar. Big truck crashes often result in serious injuries or death. After a big truck crash, call William Attar, the largest motor vehicle accident firm in the state. After a serious truck crash, call us right away. So our immediate response team can preserve evidence while you focus on your family. Truck crash, call William Attar. 315-444-4444, South State Street, Syracuse.
Hi, I'm Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti. Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opiates after a surgery 2 years ago, a broken bone last year, and a dental procedure last month. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. Holding on to unused medication like opiates puts your family at risk. Remove the risk by getting 2 free medication disposal bags mailed directly to your home. Hurry and don't delay. There's a limited supply.
Go to ocopioidtaskforce.org.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Not sure how much you know about Progressive Insurance. You may know us for insuring your home and auto. You may know a couple of our commercials. But what you may not know is that since 2013, Progressive has been honoring veterans with vehicle donations through the annual Keys to Progress Veteran Vehicle Giveaway Program, giving back to those who gave so much. Now, you probably didn't wake up today saying, I really wish I knew more about Progressive Insurance, but this seemed like the type of thing people wouldn't mind hearing about. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Mazda's Season of Inspiration sales event is going on right now at Street Pawnee Mazda with Ricky Z. Save while you finance or you lease your award-winning Mazda. Mazda's premium design, fit, and finish, paint process, it's all extraordinary. While Mazda's premium interior redefines luxury. I see it in my vehicle. I love it. And Rick is just easy to deal with, easy to work with, And so is everyone over there. It's a great car buying experience. So as Rick always says, let's make your deal on a Mazda and see why it's always easy to do business at the family-owned and operated Steve Pawnee Mazda.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
So, big weekend for the Utica Pioneers. Winning over the weekend, both games on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Gary Heenan, head coach, on the line right now. Gary, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill.
So, listen, I'm just going to be straight with you right now, all right? Your parents come all the way in from the great land to the north. Come all the way down here, get into that auditorium at the Adirondack Bank Center, and you're not even behind the bench. Or on the bench. What is going on? What happened on Saturday?
Yeah, well, it's, if I had told them I was suspended, I knew they wouldn't come. So.
That is so funny.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, so they got in the building. They're like, "Where even is he?" And I was tucked away in a private box watching the game. But suspended, and a tough spot for my assistant coach to be in. It was his first game being a head coach. It's a game that we were supposed to win, so pressure on him. And Nick did a great job, and we pulled out a pretty tough team that was playing us hard. We are the better team. We pulled it out
nice.
With some adversity, but it was nice to be home. Building was alive and rocking. It was good.
I have two questions I have to jump in. First of all, did you ever extend the invite to your parents to come up and join you in the box?
No,
Gary,
because I'm working. I'm breaking down the game as we're going, so they can sit there with their grandchildren and be happy they have some, and enjoy the game that way.
Boy,
yeah.
Well, and are you? So you are allowed to still? I mean, you're still doing strategy. You're still thinking. You can't communicate and say, "Hey, put so and so in," or anything like that at that point.
No, I can't. They're not allowed to do pregame, not allowed to do during game adjustments, communicate. But it's early in the season, so take advantage of being up top and kind of getting a big view of your team and where they're at.
So Gary, you strike me as a baptism by fire kind of guy. Did you let your assistant coach know before the game he would be calling the shots for the game?
Yeah, we actually got the word late. It was the other coach and I both suspended for an altercation, and we didn't hear it till like Wednesday. So Thursday we kind of broke the news to the team and my assistant, and things change. You got to simplify your game plan.
Yeah.
And you have another coach on the bench who's usually not on the bench, or goalie coach, and so those guys were thrown in the fire, and they did a good job managing that situation.
So this came from last week's games.
Yeah, so I took exception to the other coach trying to call what's called a protocol violation. So begging for a power play to start the period. It's like calling an illegal stick.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any room in that. If refs want to call it, fine. But when you're begging for those calls,
yeah.
I think it's a real cheap way to play. And quite frankly, the other team this week tried to do the same thing. So I don't know what's going on in our league, but I think it's pretty soft. It's a tough approach to managing your game, your team.
Well, listen, there's not a soul out there that's like, boy, I got to tell you, I'm very disappointed in Gary by this. I mean, this is Coach Gary Heenan. People are all in. I like it. It's that fire.
My phone was blowing up because nobody had picked it up. We didn't really put it out there, and I think everybody assumed I had COVID.
Right.
So I actually text the radio guy, say, "Can you please announce that I'm actually suspended and I'm healthy, I'm alive?" So it's not ideal. It certainly isn't. But sometimes there's fiery situations and things happen.
If you sat there passively, I mean, we'd be like, "The hell's wrong with him? Why is he not doing something here? Throw a laptop or something, will you?"
Yeah, I think if that had happened in the odd. The place would erupt. I mean, it was two coaches going at each other, and it was entertaining. Like I said, it's not anything I'm proud of, but I'm going to fight for my team and charge those guys up.
Coach,
I love it.
Can you just clarify the opposing coach? Did he end up with a blazer pulled over his head or no?
No,
No,
it was
okay.
it was a verbal exchange
Gotcha.
with aggressive language, and
Okay.
the refs gave us each a game misconduct, and the league stepped in and said we're not going to put up with that this year. So be it. Him and I both had to sit out a game this weekend, and to their credit as well, they won the league, the game that their coach wasn't in. So we move on.
Okay, it all works out. Okay, well, based on this experience of being able to sit there and watch the game, what was that like, and what's your takeaway?
Yeah, it's terrible. My son observed me, and he said you change positions about 1,700 times. Just the way you stand, you sit, you move, and it's a very uncomfortable spot. But taking advantage of it, we did make several adjustments for the next night. We came out on fire, and we executed those adjustments really well. We are getting into penalty trouble. I'm really disappointed in our group and how immature we're playing for a mature team. So we have some team building to do this weekend, where we've just got to be smarter for who we are.
Yeah.
We definitely have the talent, the ability to have a special year. We're, in my opinion, we're underachieving right now. So we've got to sort some things out.
All right. Well, listen, I think that, these 2 wins, big wins, good wins to have out there. What's coming up as we move forward here?
Yes, we got another great weekend coming up with Wilkes, which was second place finisher in this league for the last few years, and they come into the ABC on Friday night at 7, and then Comets play Saturday night, so we move to the matinee game at 2.
Okay, all right.
Gotcha. So Friday night 7, 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. Hey, I love the doubleheaders at the ABC, as you call it.
Yeah, all good.
And then before you know it, we'll be talking about the New York Sash Teddy Bear Toss.
Yeah, just so Oswego is humming along. I believe they'll be in the top 10 this week as well.
Wow.
And so it's not one of these cupcake teams that we have brought in.
Ooh, this is going to be a game and a half then.
Mm-hmm.
This will have major national ramifications and all the hoopla around that, the TV, and so that's you're right. That's adding up to be a spectacular evening with a great hockey game.
Now, you mentioned your son, and Nexus was open over the weekend. I had a chance to mosey on over there as well during the action this weekend, and spectacular, right? And how did your kid do?
Yeah, I think it is. It's I call it a one-upper. I think we've one-upped Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany, New York City. This is a crown jewel. I mean, to use your word spectacular, it is. The staff did an unbelievable job. Everybody seemed to be having a good time. Full concession, restaurant, bar, coffee shop, pro shop. Everything was actually ahead of schedule, so the management team did a super job. And parents seemed really, really happy. Kids were happy. Plenty of locker rooms, plenty of lighting, plenty of sound. Really, really good environment. And the city and county should be really proud of what they have going here.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And how did your kid do?
Okay. I think, what happens here is those cities I just mentioned all have the same, a team representing that region. And with our population, we have challenges. We just don't have the population to support what's called a AAA team. So a lot of the teams are just a little below. Are they competitive? 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But with this facility, we should be able to further develop our hockey player, our young hockey players in the area to beat those teams in the future.
Nice. Okay. Listen, we love the chutzpah. The chutzpah. It's good stuff.
Let's keep the fire burning here, for sure.
Keep it burning. And by the way, are there any season tickets available, or what do you suggest people do?
Yeah, I think it's all individual game tickets at this point.
Okay.
So I think on the weekend we did have 200-300 left for the Saturday night game. It was a great crowd. It was super to see. So moving forward, just hit the box office up for those game tickets. And if I could, Bill, just a quick shout out to our football team. I'm sure you guys have covered it, but their first ever NCAA bid, and those guys worked their butts off in the office. So a real shout out to them. Proud of those guys and wishing them luck.
This is a big deal. They've had a great season, and going into postseason, really, really cool.
Pretty exciting.
All right, Gary, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
All right, be good, guys.
Have a great day. Head coach Gary Heenan.
So via USCHO.com, I believe the rankings for D3 men's hockey come out every Monday. and we are awaiting today's release of the rankings. But Utica now 4-2. They entered the weekend nationally ranked number 5. In fact, they were tied for number 5. And we mentioned Oswego. Oswego is up to number 9 in the most recent poll. But again, new rankings will come out later today.
And the fact that that's the New York Sass teddy bear toss, wow.
That's a game.
That's going to be a game and a half. Listen, we got a bunch of comments. You want to pipe in on anything going on, 315-736-0186. Do you have an experience? I mean, I know I had my own experiences, which I wrote about with Gallagher. Do you have an experience? Because I know many people did. I read one that was off Facebook, and the guy said, I remember this very well, huge Gallagher fan, not so much of a fan after I met him. Because I think he really turned off a lot of people. You know, he had a way he has a way about him. I don't think that's the song, but it would work.
No, and he was very, he was interested in something 100% when he was interested in it. But when he wasn't interested in it, it was, and he'd walk away.
I wonder, you know, and I kind of toyed with this a little bit during my writing. Are we talking about brilliance? Someone who's a genius, who just is so smart and so eccentric that he got bored with people.
Right.
Or are we talking about a narcissist? Or maybe we're talking about, you know, there's a video in the story, too, that you have to check out. And it's when Gallagher was at a comedy club and he's headlining. And for those who don't understand, and we had a great weekend with J.J. Ramirez over the weekend at Fat Cats. And it's important in a club to have a perfect setting. You want it to be, you want an intimate, lights are down, you're comfortable, all seats pointing towards the stage. You don't want somebody to have to turn around and look to the stage. You're not supposed to talk during the show. If you do it very quietly to order your appetizer or your drink. So you want the perfect setting. And that's what happens is you have a comedian that's usually a little younger, making his way up to the middle guy, making his way up to the headliner. And the whole idea is to get the audience conditioned where they're in a good mood, they're laughing, and then the headliner comes out and has a much easier job. But if you have a comedian out there that's way too dirty or isn't funny or is like bombing, that's tough on the headliner because your audience is now, they're folding their arms, they're looking at you.
Right.
So you want that audience set. So here's a scenario where Gallagher is ready to headline, and the comic is a young, up-and-coming comic with no experience, and he is bombing. Normally what would happen in any setting, and I've seen it happen a million times, the comic comes off, the headliner goes over and kind of chats with him, and he's like, hey, not so bad. I mean, you did a little better this time. You know that joke you do? If you just get to it a little quicker, you probably could, et cetera, et cetera. That's what normally happens. You try to preserve that person's confidence because it's awful being up there and not doing well. In this case, Gallagher went up on stage and said, no, you're doing it all wrong. Let me show you how to connect with an audience. When you tell this, it's awful. And there's a video of it. And it's in the story. It's up on our website at WIBX950.com. It's awful. So any comments you have, 315-736-0186. We'll take some comments that have been apped in a second. Looking for something different and delicious for lunch? Well, do I have an idea for you? Hemstrotz is now offering tasty, filling lunch items. The new grilled cheese oozes. It's a rich French cheese that just tastes so very good. It's lactose-free for everyone to enjoy. It's so good. It probably feels like it's too good to be true, but meant for two. Huge and delicious handcrafted ham and cheese, spinach croissants, sous vide egg sandwiches, fruit Danish, and soups are there as well. Don't just think about it. Come in. Take advantage of it. Hemstrotz Bakery, 900 Oswego Street in Utica. Are you going somewhere for Thanksgiving? You should not go empty-handed.
These are great. These are great perfect for Thanksgiving apps.
Bring the amazing cheese, the artisanal cheese, which is all available there, all different kinds. and many that come from overseas that are just rare and delicious. Or you could bring, a box of Half Moons. Check it out.
Or both. I mean, really.
Or
Especially
both.
if you got
Or
kids
both.
running around.
Yeah.
You'll satisfy the kids and the parents.
Open 7 days a week, Hemstrotz and artisanal cheese. Hemstrotz, 900 Oswego Street in Utica.
Now through 9 p.m. Thursday, stock up for Thanksgiving and save big during the case sale at Bremer's Wine and Liquor. Mix and match your own case of wine and save an unbelievable 20%. That's right. Choose any wine, create your perfect case, and get a 20% discount. Save on any 12 750 milliliter bottles of wine. Save on any 6 1.5 liter bottles of wine. If you drink it, if you love it, you can save 20% on it now during Bremer's case sale. Plus, you can save throughout the store with everyday low pricing on our boxed wine. And we've made shopping easy and convenient. Place your order online at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 on your first order with our mobile app. Request delivery and we'll bring your order right to your home. Or choose in-store pickup, and when you get to Bremer's, we'll bring your order right out to your car. If you love it, we've got it. Make your own case and save 20%. But it all ends at 9 p.m. Thursday. Stop in and save at Bremer's Wine and Liquor on Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
November is National Home Care Month, and Essentia Health honors all nurses, therapists, home health aides, and support staff that provide the care for people in their homes. Modern Healthcare ranked Essentia the number 31 best place to work and third healthiest place to work in the healthcare industry nationwide. With highly skilled and compassionate staff utilizing cutting-edge technology, Essentia Health is tomorrow's healthcare today. When you need exceptional care in the comfort of your own home, ask for Essentia.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
Is your prostate secretly being destroyed without you knowing it? All the ads for these prostate pills like Super Beta Prostate, Saw Palmetto, ProstaStream, Prostagenics, and others want to know which pills work and which are garbage? Now you can. Get a free copy of the new guide, Prostate Secrets, that pulls back the curtain on the prostate pill industry. Learn what is really in these pills. Which pill has over 987 adverse event reports filed against it with the FDA? It's shocking. Learn the one food to avoid that is a prostate killer, and discover the 3 so-called health foods that destroy your prostate. Get your free copy at prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com. This free guide will show you how to end your prostate problems without drugs or surgery, 5 important things to do to protect your prostate, and much more. Warning, this guide is controversial and may be offensive to some readers as it pulls no punches. So go to prostatesecrets.com. Prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
A couple of comments here this morning on the Gallagher story that's up on our website at WIBX950.com. John Pederisi, a newspaper man. I never really watched more than a few minutes of Gallagher, so I have no real appreciation of him. But I have had experience with similar characters, although they weren't nearly as extreme. You wonder how he made it to 76. Good point. He said, I enjoyed the story. However, by the end, I really felt bad for him. And I completely agree. I think we all felt that way, that we all really tried. And there are a million situations in this world where we fall into this, where there's someone you're trying to help, and at times they make you so angry because they're just terrible people at times and mean. Yet you have those moments that you really feel bad for that person, and that completely the way I felt. You have some others, and then I have a phone call.
Yeah, a couple here. This is John in Rome with a couple of comments. He said, on solar roofs, how would they work when the snow is coming if it's covering the roof in the storm? Well, it's the same way it works with a solar panel
Sure.
on a house.
Yep.
Lance and Lee says, hey, Bill, what happened to the guy who was setting up the pedophile stings? Was he run out of town? I heard that none of his stings resulted in any charges. We will follow up on this later this week because I wanted to reach out to him. I don't believe has been back in the area since we spoke with Herkimer County DA Jeff Carpenter.
Yeah.
Also, John in Bridgewater says, hey, Keeler, give New York Gas and Electric a call, see what they offer, almost indicating that maybe the National Grid advocate wasn't offering enough incentive. Because I'm not exactly sure what John in Bridgewater was alluding to there.
And I have Liberal Lou on the line right now.
One more quick. Bud Friedman died over the weekend. Thank you,
Yep.
John.
Yep.
We wanted to mention that along with Gallagher.
Lou, good morning. Did I lose you, Lou? You there? Test 1, 2. For me and you, I think we lost him. And I'm almost out of time at this point. Anything else we want to squeeze in here? We may get a little snow this week, and I have not heard from Richard to make that prediction. He likes to do the meteorology stuff. But Tuesday, Wednesday, even into Thursday, just maybe some snow and some sloppiness.
Yeah, some freezing rain, snow, and rain mixing together. Tuesday night into Wednesday, we could see an inch or two of snow accumulation. That morning commute Wednesday has the potential to be really messy.
Lovely. Well, listen, what is it? It's this time of year, right? Is that Lou? All right, let me take him just quickly. All right, Lou, I've got about a minute. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, on the EVs, I listened to the discussion, and I did some quick research. There's a great article in the New York Times from a couple of weeks ago called EVs Start with a Bigger Carbon Footprint, but that doesn't last. It kind of debunks pretty much everything your guest said. If you want to look it up, it's written by a guy named Eric A. Taub.
Okay.
Taub. And, I did look up, he mentioned the Manhattan Institute study was definitely a legitimate study, but it's 4 years old and was done by one single individual, one journalist.
Okay.
This article will show you massive, major studies about
All right, I will,
footprint with EVs, funded by Ford Motor Company, by different universities.
Okay. I hate to cut you off, but I will look into this, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Lou, thank you.
Once an EV is a year.
He's still going, but I do have to go. WIBX Utica, Rome. It's 9 o'clock.
Give bonus to...
Candidly. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what we've been told about President Biden's meeting today with China's leader. He said going into the talks, one big goal is...
prevent competition from becoming anything ever near conflict.
A White House statement says the president underscored the U.S. and China must work together on issues like climate change. He also raised concern about China and human rights and told Xi Jinping China's recent military drills around Taiwan undermine peace and stability. Ukraine's president has gone to Kherson, a city liberated when Russian forces retreated.
Volodymyr Zelensky greeted soldiers and thanked NATO and other allies for their support.
We are moving forward. We're ready for peace, but our peace for our country.
But last night he also reflected the other side of the situation in Kherson, saying investigators had already documented more than 400 war crimes. Russia denies targeting civilians.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Students are not going to class this morning at the University of Virginia, instead sheltering in place as police search for the shooter who killed 3 people and wounded 2 others in a parking garage on campus late last night. In Georgia, 2 police officers were injured but are okay, released from a hospital after a shooting yesterday that led to a SWAT standoff at a home in Butts County with a suspect who later surrendered. The election results keep trickling in with 18 House races still undecided.
In another key pickup for the GOP, Republican Lori Chavez Dreamer flipping an Oregon House seat, becoming the state's first Latina congresswoman.
They want to see a vibrant economy, that they're safe on their streets.
She defeats progressive Democrat Jamie McLeod Skinner. In Washington, Democrat Marie Gluesenkamp Perez defeats Republican Joe Kent to flip the seat previously held by Republican Jamie Herrera Butler, who lost her primary to Kent after voting to impeach former President Donald Trump.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. If Republicans win 6 of the final races, they'll win the House majority. Democrats have retained control of the Senate with 50 seats at least. America's listening to Fox News.
This holiday season, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us with their annual Season of Hope. Between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve, the foundation will deliver mortgage-free homes to dozens and dozens of America's catastrophically injured veterans, fallen first responder families, and Gold Star families. Bring hope to heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Smith & Wesson is committed to empowering Americans no matter what. With inflation hitting everywhere, we've decided to make a change. Now, you can buy a Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, our most popular concealed carry firearm, at an all-new low price, $100 off MSRP. We're absorbing the costs and passing along the savings to you so you don't have to compromise on personal security. Visit smithandwesson.com to find a Shield Plus near you.